listeners, and welcome to the Chill Room, the only place on the internet where we fuck around so you don't have to. I'm your ever so gracious host, Nicholas.
And I'm your deadbeat neighborhood drug dealer, Hayden.
Friendly neighborhood rapist.
Anything, just put any acronym in there and that's what I am.
Yep.
A man of many traits.
Master of all. Or no, I'm sorry. What's the phrase I'm looking for?
I don't know.
Jack of all trades, master of none.
Master of none, moderately adequate at everything.
I'm slightly okay at that. I'm not as good as
You're
somebody.
not good at raping?
No, dude.
Good, me neither.
All right. Well, now that we've got that settled, it's a lovely March afternoon. There's a light snow outside, and I'm incredibly hungover. How are you?
Oh, you're hungover.
Yeah, just
I
a
feel
little
like
bit.
I'm hungover, even though I'm not. I haven't drinking anything in the past longest time.
I decided to break into the Jim Beam stash in my kitchen last night just for shits and giggles. I thought it might help me at Rocket League a little bit, but all it did was just give me a fucking nasty hangover. So,
Sure as hell made Rocket League fun of it.
oh, I mean, it's fun. It's fun whether you're sober or drunk. It's just everything's more fun when you're drunk.
Yeah,
Except when you're, throwing up your insides and everything's coming out all bloody and viscous.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I mean, every once in a while that you just gotta cut loose, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially if you're wearing white shoes and it gets all over your white shoes.
What?
Then you got a giant stain on your white shoes. And, yeah.
You Andrew WK in it?
Yeah. But I don't wear those white Converse anymore. Although, I do miss those shoes, but I don't know where the other one went.
You only have one?
Yeah.
One shoe?
One shoe. But I have like a couple more pairs of shoes, so it's fine.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't even think I ever washed those. Because that happened on Garrison's birthday last year. And, yeah, I don't think I washed them since then. That was in August. I just forgot to wash them. So it's probably good that shoe is missing. Because it probably still to this day smells like stomach acid. So it's all good. So, what's going on in your life?
I've done absolutely fucking nothing for the past 3-4 weeks. See, I don't even know how long it's been since I've done absolutely nothing. to
Losing
keep
track of time?
Yeah, I'm losing track of time.
What is sunlight?
There is no sunlight. It seems like a never-ending nebulous winter.
I like my shades like I like my coffee and my metal. Black.
I was gonna say satanic, but
Well, I mean, satanic coffee is pretty dope.
yeah.
That's funny. I was actually watching a bunch of. You ever see those? Like I don't know what to call them. They're videos from like the early '90s, and they're like guides for law enforcement into satanic behavior.
Oh, like training videos?
Yeah, you ever see those?
No,
My God, those
I
are
don't
some.
believe in that.
Well, I mean, I don't either, but they're still fucking hilarious.
I bet.
They are so funny.
Yeah.
But then again, anything from the early '90s is just max amount of cheese.
It is cheese.
Cheese, the best kind of cheese.
Yeah, kind of like how the Canadians, our friends from the Great North, said if you listen to heavy music, you're part of a hate group.
Who said that?
It's some police department in Canada.
Wow, guys, you're really giving us a good name. Thanks for fucking us over.
No, I mean, if they, from an outsider looking in to like per se a mosh pit, a wall of death, if that's what it's called.
Most things that
Most-
straight people would find questionable.
Yeah, most things. It's like, why the fuck are they beating the fuck out of each other?
So they don't have to beat the fuck out of each other in the streets.
Yeah,
Better to do it at like an Exodus concert or something than, out on the streets.
yeah.
I think.
Less crime.
That is crime. We don't support crime on this show.
No.
Not murder, not rape, maybe a little bit of larceny, but I'm not willing to disclose
Only if they ask for
that only if they ask for it.
What is larceny? Like robbery?
Yeah, it's like stealing.
Stealing?
I mean,
If they ask for their stuff to get stolen, then you steal it
pretty much.
because they're asking for it.
Yeah. Then again, I don't think Walmart's ever asked anything to be stolen from them. So
Well, it's Walmart.
yeah, that's true. That's what I said.
There's no other reason behind it. It's just the epitome of big business taking over small business.
That's true. And that's exactly the kind of mentality that landed me in a fucking jail cell. So, all right.
Oh yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, but I prefer not to visit those times.
What,
I don't like
being
to go
in
back.
jail and getting raped.
I don't like to go
dropping
back.
the
I
soda,
don't like to, if that happened to
taking
me,
orders from the shot caller.
luckily for me, I was the only one in the cell. There was a bench, another bench across, and then a toilet right on the other
Oh, so
side.
you're just in jail, not.
Not prison, but jail, yes. There is a difference. For those of you who don't know out there, there is a difference between prison and jail. I was in jail, not prison.
Beyond Scared Straight does a terrible. It does a terrible job showing the difference between jail and prison.
Yeah.
Because it shows multiple people in prison and jail as the same people.
Well, I mean, in all honesty, prison is a lot scarier than jail,
Yes.
I would think. So I think it does a good job with that, but at the same time, I feel like you're kind of right.
Oh yeah. I don't like the fact that kids I've known have gone through that program, and they act like it was nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
You ever? I always find it funny when those kids, the ones that always try to act hard, when all the hardened prisoners get in their face and shit, like, "Hey, yo, little homie, you want some?" And they try to act all hard and shit. Like, yeah, give me it. I'll take some. Yeah, sure you will, buddy. Sure you will. Ugh.
Apparently at a college, I don't know what college it is. It's in northern Michigan, I would say.
Okay.
But this girl was telling me that protocol for a school shooter, if a school shooter enters the premises, everyone has to take their shoes off and throw the shoes at the shooter.
Okay.
And the day they were told that, everyone was wearing like flip-flops, flats, whatever the fuck those are.
Yeah, you're just going around from room to room, wasting everybody, and next thing you know, boom, sandal, right in the face.
I don't think that would work. I think they would just piss them off.
That would not work at all. That is probably the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
You just stop, look down, pick up the shoe.
Really?
Who the fuck shoe is this? You go.
Who's
"Me."
getting wasted first?
Exactly.
Who threw this flip flop at me?
Yeah, because the first, if I was a poor person with nothing better to do with my life, I would just go around to that school with a gun and just get shoes.
I would laugh if that actually did work. Like, who knows? I mean, we went from throwing shoes at the president to throwing shoes at perpetrators and taking them down.
Well, it didn't work with Bush.
No, it didn't. It
You know,
didn't work with
how
Bush.
funny that was.
That was funny.
Look at this!
Even as like a 9-year-old kid, to me that was just hilarious. Like, somebody just threw. How can you not find that funny? I mean, here's a guy who's the most powerful person in the country, addressing his nation. And whether you like him or you hate him, you gotta admit that it's fucking hilarious. Somebody just picks up a shoe and just fucking OJ's that bitch straight into his face. Wait, no, OJ wasn't a thrower.
Wasn't he a running back?
No, you'd have to be a quarterback. So he would Peyton Manning that bitch right in his face.
No, it wasn't OJ a running back.
Yeah, was he?
I don't know.
That's the thing. I don't know much about OJ except that he killed somebody.
Yeah, I don't know much about sports.
Yeah. Well, I have a very limited knowledge when it comes to sports. It's what makes me an outcast to your brother. Because like Austin, like he'll sit there. Like, we went out to lunch the other day at Lockhart's in Royal Oak. Best fucking chili mac I've ever had. But and we
It was the
and
best ever. It was great. Huge. Wonderful.
Wonderful. And he was sitting there and he was talking about the upcoming baseball season and he was naming off all these players and I'm just sitting there like, just shaking my head, but like none of these players are registering in my subconscious. So I'm just like, oh, what do I say? Because like I
The
always
answer is nothing.
like, have you ever been in that kind of conversation?
Every day.
Yeah. Have you ever been in that conversation where somebody brings up something that you're like kind of sort of passionate about or you're just kind of getting into? And but you still don't really know enough about it to have like a decent conversation. So you just sit there and you're like, yeah, and then they look at you weird and they're like, oh, you don't know fucking shit about baseball. Yeah, no shit, Jethro. That's why I want you to teach me.
Yeah, you just sit and listen and you'll learn something.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more of
Not anything important, really.
right, but you kind of let it absorb.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person I am. See, that's the thing. In most conversations, when it comes to stuff that I'm not really well versed in, I like to listen, because I like to learn. I just kind of sit there and absorb what I'm being told. And a lot of people are weirded out by that. They're just like, oh, you're not saying nothing or you're quiet. Even in like a group setting, like they'll just be talking about something as mundane or like pointless, and you're just kind of sitting there listening, and they'll look at you and be like, hey, you're being kind of quiet. You all right? I'm like, yeah, I'm just listening.
No, I know. I'm the same way. But it's because I don't know what to say or add to the conversation.
Right. That's me most of the time, because especially when it is a conversation centered around something that doesn't really pertain to you.
Yeah.
So you're just kind of sitting there in that awkward position, like,
Yeah, that, or is you didn't hear the entire conversation.
So yeah, because like you're spacing out or something.
They're dragging
I've been
you
there.
in halfway in, or it's two real good friends going at it, and you're just kind of listening to see, like, just to get a better understanding of them. And they're like, "Oh, come on, chime in." It's like, I don't know where to chime in.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, where do I come in with my witty humor that nobody understands?
Yeah.
That's how it used to be a lot of the time in my old friend group. Like sometimes they'll be just talking about something or just like bullshitting, and like I have nothing to add. So I just kind of sit there like a jackass with a big old fucking grin on my face, and it's incredibly awkward, Even when we first started doing this show back in the day, that used to be me sometimes. Like sometimes like Garrison and Joe would go off in like a tangent or something, and I wouldn't know what to add to the conversation.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do I try to be funny and fall flat on my ass, or do I save face and say nothing? Sure. Right.
I spaced out in
Yes.
that conversation alone.
Hey, have you seen or what was never mind. I'm fucking tired, dude. I'm always tired when I do the show.
Dude, man, you're always overflowing with ideas, overflowing with topics.
And no way to materialize them.
Yeah, and then you finally hit the live record button, and you're just like, what the fuck was I just thinking about?
All right, fight or flight mode, go.
Fight or flight.
Every time that little red dot comes on here, man, it's always fight or flight mode for me, because like I'm still not exactly well versed in this kind of setting. So it's just
We should arm teachers.
oh, not this shit again, please.
We should arm teachers. We should just arm everybody.
Yeah, arm everybody. You know what? I will agree with that. Hello, Zach. Good to see you, buddy.
Zach.
Friend of mine used to live in Algonac. Used to hang out with my buddy Andrew and I. And I became
dope.
really good friends with him. We used to call him Juwatsky.
Juwatsky.
Yeah, you replace the Z right there in his name with the J, and the
Isn't
joke
that-
writes itself.
Isn't that anti-Semitic?
It is
Isn't that
in
the type
some
of stuff to get the
circles.
social justice warriors up in arms.
Yeah, but when it's amongst your friends, it doesn't really fucking matter, because everybody knows you're not racist. You know you're not racist, so it's whatever.
But what happens if a passerby walks up and goes, "Did you just call that man a Jew? You right conservative Nazi?"
You still live in Algonac, and you about to go to Kentucky. Well, good for you, my boy. You gonna start your life over down there? That's good. I'm proud of you, buddy. You went from living in a crappy little apartment, from what I remember, and now you're doing good for yourself, I hope. So, yeah, that's right. We're not a bunch of bitches. Did I ever tell you that story of when I was in Dick's Sporting Goods with Garrison, and he was looking at shoes that were on clearance? It kind of pertains to what you just said.
No.
So we were in Dick's Sporting Goods, or it might have been, it was some sporting goods store, and we were, well, I'm good, I'm glad, Zach. And he was looking at shoes, because, he's a big guy with some big feet, and he was looking at shoes that could fit him. I think he wears like a size 16 or something like that. So we're looking around, browsing through these shoes, and, I don't remember how we got on to because, we have stupid, fucked up conversations like we always used to do. Oh, excuse me. And I don't remember how it got onto it, but he goes like, yeah, I'm not fat. I'm big boned or something like that. He's like, yeah, it runs in the family. And I look him straight in the eye and I go, nobody runs in your family, you fat fuck. Because, being called fat doesn't bother him. Like, he doesn't care. Like, he embraces that. And I'm not even kidding. Everybody within like an earshot because it was one of those crowded days, heard me say this and looked over at me like I was the biggest piece of shit on the planet. And it was the fucking funniest thing I had ever experienced.
No, I bet. And speaking of Dick's Sporting Goods, I have a story.
Okay.
Of Dick's Sporting Goods. Way back in the day, maybe about 10, 12 years ago, I was running around Dick's Sporting Goods, trying out baseball bats for multiple reasons.
Undisclosed.
Very legal reasons. And so this group of two, if I remember correctly, bitches, caught my attention. They called me over. It's like, hey, you want to fucking make out? And I'm like, yeah, sure. And they're like, I would never make out with you. I'm like, well, yeah, you're a stranger, and I'm a 9-year-old. No shit.
Yeah, 9-year-old.
Yeah, so
You were 9?
I was in the single digits, yes.
Oh, okay.
Almost soliciting. So
All right.
So if I had a better understanding of the law, it could have been a rape.
Maybe. But that's still, that blows my mind.
And I would have been fine with it. I would have been boasting about that shit till today. But like, man, this one time I got raped in the fucking... But, I think I would be doing that over, like a different situation, a young girl and an older man. And how... It's weird how that's built. How if a young boy, gets raped by, per se, a very attractive teacher,
Yeah.
everyone goes, yeah, nice, good for that
Fuck
kid.
yeah, bro.
Yeah, it's like the South Park episode. Wait,
Yeah.
that teacher? Yeah, nice.
Nice.
But if it was the other way around, we'd be up in arm with pitchforks and,
Oh, yeah.
and
The only thing I want to know is, where the fuck were these kind of teachers when I was in school?
No, and I agree with that.
I wouldn't have said shit to anybody. Like, if I got to bang a super hot teacher in her classroom after school, I wouldn't say shit. I would take that with me until the day I die.
Till the day you die.
Yes, till the
I'm
day I
taking
die.
that to my deathbed.
Yeah, I'm taking that to the grave.
On my deathbed,
Because
if I
that's
have
how they
any
get in
loved
trouble.
ones.
That's exactly how they get in trouble, because then they go, boasting to all their friends, yo, bro, I fucked I almost said Mr. Johnson. I fucked Mr. Johnson in the auto shop after school.
Hey, buddy,
And then they would look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
you should call the police.
No, but like they'll go and they'll be like, yeah, man, I fucked Mrs. Johnson after school. And they're all like, oh my god, that's so cool. And that's how the teacher gets in trouble.
Yeah, it's just going back to the deathbed topic.
Whoop.
If I was on my deathbed, and if I had any loved ones near me,
If any at all.
if any at all, my last and dying words will be, I have something very grave and important to tell you. And then die.
And then
Just leave my life on a cliffhanger.
yeah, I mean, that's how I would want to go out. Just spill all my secrets to somebody and then just croak. That's how I want to go
True
out.
or fake?
I mean, even if they're just total lies, like total fabrications, then I would be happy.
You're like,
I'd be able to die peacefully.
I was working, and there was this one man who killed the other woman who's been missing for years. I know his name, and his name is...
Or actually just make up like a totally phony name.
Yeah.
Mike Oxlong.
Mike Oxlong.
That's the man. That's the man who killed that woman.
Mike's Oxlong.
Mike Oxlong. Oh, good old high school
Richard
humor.
Penis.
Richard Penis.
Little Willie.
Dick Hardman.
Dick Hardman.
Richard Hardman.
Yeah, he was a hard man to deal with. That hard man, Rich.
You damn right he was.
Dick Hard Penis.
Dick Hard Penis. Dick Hardcock. Edge used to wrestle in the Indies under the name Sexton Hardcastle.
Sexton Hardcastle. And today you're going to be facing Sexton Hardcastle, and you're going to have to put him over.
Ah, Jesus Christ.
Fuck, really?
Fuck, really? He's a big old blonde guy. Don't we have enough of those around here?
We have enough Hulk Hogan's. Let's get a Trump in there.
We already had a Trump in there.
Yeah,
Stone Cold took care of him.
He did
right away.
great things. Very great things. Closed land. Ed McMahon.
Man, I don't think
And
that's.
provided multiple tax cuts to Hulk Hogan.
I don't think we're the same, thinking about the same McMahon.
Or not.
No. Okay, I didn't think so. I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, it's been a hell of a couple days.
It's been a rough couple weeks.
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
My neck hurts.
From what?
From,
From the Septic Flush concert.
I was going to say oral favors, but...
Oh,
No,
okay.
yes, from the Septic Flush concert.
Well, I mean, what you do in your spare time when you're not sitting here recording with me is your own business, my dude.
What, sit on a couch and just play Skyrim?
Well, I was going to say oral favors, but yes.
You're the one who brought up the oral favors. I had nothing to do
I
with it.
didn't bring up the oral favors. You brought that
I was
up.
just banging my head goddamn too hard.
Yeah, I had to give that up a long time
Yeah,
ago.
and looking up, because we were right in front, if you can tell from the picture I took.
Yeah.
I was
I saw
doing this the entire time. And then on other occasions, going.
Yeah.
This is all good shit.
Unfortunately for me, I had to give that up a long time ago because it was giving me like really, really, really bad neck problems.
Yeah, you don't want to end up like a Tom Araya or a Dave Mustaine.
A Dave Mustaine?
A Mustaine.
Mustard stain?
Mustard. Man, fucking hot mustard.
Ooh, Dijon mustard?
Dijon.
Dijon?
Brown.
Excuse me, sir, but do you have any gray poupon? You ever see those commercials?
No.
Every time I have to look at that shit, that's all I can think of is just that dude and passing the glass bottle of Grey Poupon mustard from one car to another. Even though that commercial's been around since before I was a twinkle in my dad's eye. So,
What's that one mustard? Not brown mustard. Brown stone ground mustard. Or
yeah,
something?
stone ground mustard.
Stone ground mustard. Want to try that?
It's good.
It's good.
Yeah, especially if you put it on like a prosciutto and provolone sandwich.
Yeah, I feel like it goes good on very fancy, exposition riddled, character developed, long arcing character stories.
This
Sandwiches.
sandwich came from a hard background.
Yeah.
His parents were killed at an early age and put into a foot-long at Subway. You look into his eyes and you see the eyes, not that of a villain, but that of a disgruntled hero.
Yeah. It's the hoagie we needed.
The sandwich that saved the world.
Why do you think they're called ham heroes?
I'm making that into a movie.
What,
Just
ham
so you know.
heroes?
Yeah, well, yeah. I was going to call it the sandwich that saved the world, but I like that name a lot
That's a
better.
little long.
It's a little
Sandwich
bit
that
long.
Saved the world.
Well, okay, that can be like the little subtext in the.
Oh yeah,
It was the sandwich that
smaller
saved the
text.
world. Ham heroes.
What's that shit called?
Or no, what? No, since it's ham heroes, it's got to be plural. So we got to give them like a team of heroes.
Oh, this could be the new Avengers. It's gonna be great.
Save the world, saved one loaf of prosciutto at a time.
The whole movie is gonna take place in starved, riddled Africa, the third world, and it's just gonna be a bunch of guys handing out sandwiches.
Giant sandwiches handing out sandwiches.
No, small. Yeah, giant sandwiches handing out small
Anthropomorphic
people.
sandwiches.
Handing out very small people for the eating, and you take their heart out
For
you
the
eat
new
their
age of
heart.
cannibalism.
Yeah, you absorb their power from eating their insides.
Actually going back to that, those Satanism documentaries, I put that in air quotes, heavy air quotes, because I really don't think they're an accurate representation of Satanism. But
It's not
going
my
back
Satanism.
to that, going back to that, they were talking about how part of the ritual was to like eat babies and shit,
Nice.
and it really makes me wonder. Does that shit really happen?
Yeah, back in the
Do
day.
people really do that?
Oh, these days probably.
I mean,
not.
I would hope not these days, but even back then, because, late 80s, early 90s, I wasn't alive, so I don't know.
I thought you meant old civilization.
No.
Like yes, old civilization.
No. Back then, they would just burn you if you could do a math equation correctly. I'm talking about, the late 20th century.
The fucking witch doing.
My sister is very sensitive today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. She just texted me not too long ago saying, "You can't scream like that!"
Okay.
even though it's my house, my name's on the deed. You know, I do the dishes, I clean the house, I vacuum the floors, I do pretty much just about everything around here. But I can't scream in my own house. Fuck me, right? But whatever.
That's just how it is.
That's just how it is.
How it is. How you gotta do it.
I mean, who knows? Maybe she's hungover too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what she did last night. She went out, and I didn't hear from her. So who knows? Maybe she could be hungover.
Yeah. Did you know that yesterday's witches are today's nerds?
What?
Where are they? Yesterday's witches are today's nerds.
How so?
How so?
How so?
Because we used to burn witches at the stake for doing math. Now we make fun of them for doing math.
That's true. You know, I gotta give you a good point there. Sorry, I have to answer a text message.
No, you're fine. Yeah, I don't understand why it's still snowing in the middle of March.
Yeah, you know, honest to God, I thought we were gonna be past this, but
Yeah, I honestly thought too, because I woke up this morning, I went outside, and then I saw snowflakes. I'm like, what the fuck is up with this shit?
yeah.
Just a never-ending nebulous winter.
I was hanging out with Justin the other day, one of the old co-hosts
Yeah.
that was on this show.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say old because, you know, they still do a show under the Chill Room name. So it's, I mean, I that's the thing. I don't know if it's a continuation or if it's just like a, I mean, I would think it was, but anyways, that doesn't matter. I was talking to him the other day, and he was telling me about how his mom was like, "I'm gonna kill that fucking groundhog. I swear to God." And all I could think about was her, because I met his mother. His mom does not like me, like, at all. She never has.
Okay.
So, just imagining her in full decked out Rambo gear, with like a bandana, war paint, and a giant M60 in hand, just at this gopher hole, like, get ready for your comeuppance, you son of a bitch. Just fucking blowing this groundhog. I almost said gopher. Blowing this groundhog away.
It's pretty much a glorified gopher.
He's pretty much the gopher's distant cousin.
Yeah, he's pretty much the glorified distant cousin of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un.
Oh yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I
Did you
think gophers
see-
are spies.
Yeah, did you see that new gopher mask that he created?
No.
North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. And it's weird how we, as an American people, are I guess the word would be applauding Kim Jong-un and North Korean's regime at the Winter Olympics recently.
Oh yeah.
And how
I didn't pay attention to that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, you may have or may not have seen this. It's all the North Korean girls doing the synchronized cheering, basically, and they're like, "Oh my God, look at the unity of North Korea and how great they are and how magnificent they are." And I'm sitting in my chair reading that, and I'm like, you know, if they didn't do that correctly, and one girl did screw up, and the guy in the crowd didn't look like he give a shit, they'd go back to their North Korean homeland dead.
Yeah.
Because they displeased the great Rita.
You know, that reminds me of you know who Uday Hussein is?
No.
He was one of the sons of Saddam Hussein, the Iraqi dictator.
Okay.
And they had a really good football team. That's soccer for you. I call it football. I call regular football American football because it makes more sense. But anyways, they
I
had
just say football.
football.
Yeah.
But they had a football team, and he would, every time they would lose, like, he would punish all the players. Like, he would fucking make them kick around a cinder block,
No, I bet.
and he would just do all kinds of horrible, fucked up shit to these poor players who were just having a bad game
Yeah, and,
every time they would lose.
And how so many people, how a lot of people are afraid of their army.
Yeah.
There's North Korean defectors from their army that's have gone down saying, and you could look this stuff up.
Oh, I know. I've seen it.
It's the whole training regimen at North Korea is just a joke. It doesn't make sense how it actually helps you out in combat. They lug around all this equipment, and they have to go, I think, climb a mountain and then come down the mountain and then do it again or some shit like that. But it's just, how is climbing a mountain going to help you fight someone?
That's kind of what we do. And really, well, okay, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I'm going to play devil's advocate
Yeah,
here.
go ahead.
When it comes to that kind of stuff, that's more of a like an endurance type thing. You
But
know,
it's
to make
just
sure that
straight
you.
endurance, though.
Yeah.
There's no really gunplay, battle buddy shit like that.
Yeah, that's true. But I don't really think they put too much emphasis on that kind of thing because they're a little different.
Sure.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've looked at what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So I'm a bit.
I mean, back in World War
Olive.
II, they used to make paratroopers run up a mountain 3 miles up, 3 miles down. They would be so sick and they would be like almost on the verge of death. But you know what? It made them into a formidable fighting force. So, and I got to give them credit for that because, in all honesty, when it comes to tactics and things like that, North Korea's army's a fucking joke.
Yeah.
So if they can do that,
Compared
and
to us, yes.
maybe become a threat, I do have to put my hat down for that. But until that day, you're still a joke. Don't you ever forget it.
They'll never be a threat
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
because we can easily annihilate them quite easily.
Oh yeah, probably in like less than 2 days. I mean, think about it. If it goes back to the Iraq War, you know, if they were such a threat like everybody said they were, how come it only took us 2 weeks to take over their whole country? 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks is all it took for us to take over all of Iraq. Let that sink in.
And you know how they're trying to pin this whole situation on Trump?
Yeah.
The whole North Korea has nuclear weapons bullshit. That actually spans all the way back to Bill Clinton and
Yeah.
a series of aids we gave them because they asked for aid and they said, "Oh, we'll shut all of it down."
Uh-huh.
And then a few years later, they come back and say they have the capability to make nuclear weapons
Yeah.
after we send them the aid.
Which makes no sense to me because, as far as I know, since the 50s, they've always wanted to blow us off the face of the earth. So,
Yeah.
what the fuck are you doing?
Giving them aid, no idea.
Yeah.
It's
I mean, you know, Israel, okay, that's one thing. Syria, that's another. But North Korea, what the fuck are you doing? You know they want to blow you off the fucking map.
you know, fuck.
You all right?
I'm still getting used to this chair.
Yeah, these are really old chairs from like the 70s.
Yeah,
so-
I don't know how far it reclines. I'm afraid I'm gonna fall backwards. And nail
Well,
my
you
head
know
on the
what?
ground.
I mean, hell, there used to be 6, now there's 4. So if you break one, don't make a difference to me.
No, I just don't want my blood on the ground.
I do. That's fucking
What?
metal, dude. Yeah, you know, when I'm sitting down here
But you
playing
gotta
my
clean that
Metallica
shit
and
up,
shit,
though.
I gotta look over at that, look at a big old pool
that
of blood
hard
down
rock?
here and just go fucking hard, dude.
Metallica isn't thrash anymore.
Well, no, but that still doesn't make them any less good in my eyes.
No, I'm not saying they're not good. I'm just saying they're not the thrash metal titans that they claim to be, and everyone thinks they still are.
Yeah, you know what? I'll have to agree with you on that.
Yeah, because I would say
I would say
Black
they're
Album-
they're just metal titans.
Yeah.
Not thrash metal
Yeah.
titans, but metal titans.
I'll agree with that.
Because yeah, like you said, during the Black Album, that's when their audience. Well, actually, no. Even like during the Injustice years, their audience just fucking skyrocketed. So,
Yeah, with no bass whatsoever. Speaking of no bass,
well, I see that's the thing. I can't excuse that because I've heard the Injustice mixes with Jason Newsted's bass playing, and my God, it is 1,000 times the album that the original Injustice for All will ever be.
because it's the foundation of the band.
Right.
People just don't get that.
And maybe I can sympathize a little bit because they didn't want Jason thinking like he could just walk in and like be a part of something great. But at the same time, that's also the same reason why they lost him down the road.
Yeah.
You know, because like they were set in this mindset, oh, nobody's ever going to replace Cliff. Well, Cliff's dead. You know, you got to move on. And and that's the thing. That's what led to all the problems that they had down the road, like during the Saint Anger years and whatever, when Jason left the band, is because they never really took the time to value that fourth member.
Yeah.
So I think that's what they learned when they brought Robin to the band.
I don't think they have yet, because the newest album both Kirk and him didn't get to write a single thing.
Well, that's the thing. They've always been like that. It's always been Lars and James doing the writing or whatever. You know, so and that's a little shitty. I will admit, yes, that's a little shitty. But that's just kind of the way they've always did it. They would, you know, track stuff, you know, on tape or whatever, and just turn it into a song.
No, and I agree with that because didn't in Saint Anger they took everyone's input
Yeah.
and see what happens.
Except Kirk, who's like, why the fuck can't I put a guitar solo in this song? And they're like,
He's
oh,
not that
no.
good of a guitar player, in my opinion.
Well, okay, that's the thing.
He's like the Lars Ulrich of drumming. Of guitar.
I will admit, yes, he does a lot of the same stuff, but like even after a while, he was like, yeah, I'm not interested in playing traditional guitar solos anymore. But you got to remember, at that time, you know, early '80s, you just you had to take what you could get.
Yeah.
And maybe he wasn't the most varied or the most stellar player on the planet, but you know, he could get the job done, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So.
What?
I don't know.
You're
I don't even know what
making-
point I was trying to even make.
You're making faces and moving your arms. I'm confused
Just flailing my arms like it ain't shit.
and quite afraid.
I'm gonna go cower in the corner over here when you're done flapping your arms.
And maybe you'll hear me from that corner.
Well, the only thing missing when I do this is like semi-autistic screeching.
Just like that kid in the Babadook. Why can't you be normal?
Oh man, it's been so long since I've seen. That is one of my favorite horror movies. Is The Babadook.
It's a fucking weird film.
And
I don't understand the ending.
I liked it.
Spoilers coming ahead, maybe.
Probably not, but the reason I liked it the most personally is because you never see the thing. You know, you don't ever see the Babadook, but you know it's there.
Yeah.
And that's like a perfect example of subtlety in horror because fucking jump scares are the cheapest form of scare that you could ever
it's like a hot
ever
dog.
conceive.
It's like a hot dog. It's $1.
Exactly. It's pretty much a dime a dozen. Fucking that's why I can't sit through many modern horror movies because they're just fucking riddled with them.
You want to know what movie you should watch then?
What?
You should watch The Ritual.
Okay.
Yeah, it's.
I don't think I've ever seen that
It's
one.
a pretty good one. It's not. Do you have Netflix?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a Netflix original.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
Well, that's
That's what got me into, because I was against it for the longest time because I didn't get the fascination behind the anticipation or the suspense, and I'm sitting through that, and I'm still waiting to see what this damn thing looks like, and I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck, I get it.
That's the waiting is the best part.
Yes.
Even if you never see it.
Yeah.
Like you remember you ever play Majora's Mask?
No.
Well, okay.
Before my time.
Okay. But the in
I've
that
never
game,
been a fan of Zelda.
That's all right. But anyways, the moon. Okay, so the premise of the game is you have to save the world before the moon crashes.
Yeah, I know the premise.
You know, the big moon with the big fucking menacing face on it. And that's like another perfect example of subtlety because like anytime you walk around doing the things you got to do, if you just, you know, sit there, you turn around and you look at the thing, knowing that thing is fucking looming over you and it's basically your inevitable demise. That's like that's just perfect subtlety executed to perfection.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
It's just still not my cup of tea.
That's
I've never-
nobody said you had to drink tea.
Yeah,
we drink coffee. We here at the chill room. We only drink coffee.
What, you don't like tea?
No, I love tea.
That I was about
But what I'm saying is not during the show because tea calms me down a little too much.
You drinking that special herb tea, I see.
Yeah, that special herb tea.
Yeah.
My
Is that even a thing?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Wait. Oh no, not that. That's not. At least I don't know. If it is a thing, I would appreciate if someone out there told me and hooked me up. But
Dude, I would drink the fuck out of that. Every day, it's like, hey, you're not drinking coffee anymore. You're not on that Death Wish Valhalla Java Odin Force blend. And speaking of the Valhalla Java Odin Force blend, guess what I had to do over the weekend?
shameless plugs.
I had to write a commercial.
Really?
Yeah, for an assignment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I did a 30-second commercial on Valhalla Java Odin Force blend.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do I get to hear it?
I
get to see it?
Yeah, I can pull it up.
All right. That's cool.
Yeah, I can pull it up and read it because it's a radio commercial. So
So you'd have to speak.
Yeah, I'd have to.
Okay, so we got the perfect fucking format for that.
Yeah, just to test these out, see how it goes.
Yeah.
Will this make you any more willing to buy the coffee? Let's find out.
How many licks does it take to get to the center of a?
Tootsie Pop? Approximately 1,302. That's an actual statistic.
Jeez, you fucking had that.
Even though I don't think that's the exact number, but I know that it's statistically proven. I think it's like over 1,000 or something like that. So that's a thing you know now. So go home, take that knowledge, and do with it what you will. Masturbate to it for all I care. Whatever. That's your own thing. You do it on your own time.
I have to go to the actual school website, so
Okay.
yeah. While I'm
it's gonna
pulling
be
it up,
amazing. While I'm pulling it up, I would like to formally apologize for the audio glitch that we had last week that occurred right, I think, dead center in the first half of the episode, which rendered our voices incredibly inaudible, as if they weren't inaudible enough. But actually, by the way, Zach, if you're still here, how's our audio levels? Is it good? Can you hear me okay? Because this is something I'm becoming really self-conscious about after what happened the last episode. So I did everything in my power to fix it, but to no avail. So the only thing I can do at this point is promise that we'll do better. That's why I've been checking the audio levels on my headphones here. And it's always, every time I put the fucking headphones on and I have to talk, man, it just sounds so goddamn weird because my voice is so fucking weird. Like, you ever get that? Like, you just...
sorry, no, go ahead.
Oh, you ever get that feeling like you hear yourself talk like on the phone or in a video or whatever, and you're just like, my God, I sound like that? People put up with that shit?
I've been told by a plethora of people that I can do voiceovers for God.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta deepen up. Your voice is deeper than mine, dude. And I don't understand how I sound like a nasally fucking cowboy, and everybody else I know has like smooth, velvety voices that are just built for relaxation and chilling.
All right. Not plain text view.
Okay?
All right. So, you ready to hear the commercial I had to write the other day?
I'm ready.
All right, so it's time to start waking up from those nights you've never thought you'd return from. Death Wish Coffee Company has the most caffeinated coffee you can buy on the market. Forged from the volcanic soils of Indonesia and nutrient-rich soils of Central and South America, Death Wish Coffee Company presents Valhalla Java Odin Force Blend, fully loaded with Mandarin Domination Juice. Oh, no. Odin Force Blend, non-GMO, fully loaded with Mandarin Domination Juice to conquer the day as the Vikings of old. The only question is, do you bleed black?
And there's your first shameless plug of the day.
That's an official one. That's an actual commercial.
Official. That's some fucking next
That your
level shit.
homie had to write.
That's some next level shit right there.
Next level.
Next level.
Next level. Did you share this on Facebook?
Yeah. I always do that when I start this show.
Let me do that.
Oh, okay. Do what you must. You gonna do that? Okay, that's fine. You do that.
21 people like the fucking page.
Yeah, I know. That's 21 people that actually support my stupid hobbies. That's fucking crazy, dude. That's crazy to me. Even though that's such a small number, it's absolutely crazy to me.
Absolutely insane.
The fact that anybody puts up with you and me bullshitting into a microphone for
Go ahead and talk.
well over 2 hours, that's just absolutely mind-blowing to me. So I would like to take the time to let everybody know that if you listen to us and you put up with us, we appreciate you. We appreciate you more than you could ever know. And the fact that you support me, or, well, support us, rather, because this is a team effort, this is a group effort.
The audio is good.
Okay. Well, yeah, even Zach
I didn't say
said that. Well, I probably should have pointed that out, but he said he can hear us fine.
No,
so
yeah,
I think we're doing good.
that's probably-
But I'm still gonna actually, because when I would edit it in post production, I'd never really take the time to listen to it, and I would listen to it after it goes on the air, which is a huge mistake on my part.
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do is, test the audio level and make sure that it's audible enough, and like you said, maybe turn it up by a couple decibels if need be.
I should probably something that needs to become a standard here is once we go live, we need to check everything that's working within the first few minutes.
Yeah,
Like
that's
load it up on something else and see if everything's playing how it's supposed to play and sounds good.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's true, but I don't know how to do that. How would you suggest I go about that?
I don't know, on your phone.
Oh, yeah, I could do that.
Or a
You're
second-
right.
or a
It
second
sends
laptop.
me a notification every time we go live, so
Yeah, no, you just pull that up, maybe plug your headphones into that and see how that's going.
I guess. But I don't know, that wouldn't affect the audio at all, I don't think.
No, it's just to make sure it's working.
Okay, that makes sense. Matter of fact, actually, let me see if I can do that right
No, that's
now.
what I just got up to go do.
Oh, is that what you did?
Yeah, that's
You have headphones?
I don't have headphones.
Oh.
But, compared to the last two, you're actually able to hear this.
Well, that's
now
good. Well, it's all just trial and
without
error.
your headphones.
When it comes to things like this, it's just trial and error. You know what I'm saying? So, we've got the trials. We're working out the kinks here. I mean, because think about it. We've only been doing this show as a collective, you and I, for how long now? A month? Maybe a month and a half?
Have we been doing this weekly?
Not weekly, but like every so often.
Every so often.
I try
Yeah,
to keep it as often as possible.
I say we've been doing this for about a month, you and I.
Okay.
But you have been doing this longer than I have.
That's true, but those circumstances were different. I didn't have this microphone. I didn't have this laptop. We just had that iPad right there and a fucking shitty little condenser mic that you just plugged into it. And the
Okay.
audio used to sound terrible. I didn't know what I was doing, so.
No, it's that's what I enjoy most about the microphones. Just different audio qualities. And this is gonna be me, man. The profession that I want to go into.
Right.
The fact that I'm excited to walk in to my place of learning every day of my life, or the days I have to go and be like, I'm tired, I hate my life, and I want to do other things with this, but, the fact that I'm here and I'm actually going to do stuff is pretty cool. And the fact that I think that way and I'm not hating it yet, means I probably chose the right path,
Yeah, I would say so.
which is good.
Well, I'm glad that you found something to pursue that you're passionate about. I'm just doing it, pirate radio DIY style because, I've been passionate about this sort of thing too. Hell, even when Garrison and I were still friends and we'd hang out all the time, people would be like, you guys, you should have your own radio show, You guys should entertain the masses. So this is an attempt at doing so.
An attempt at entertaining the masses that are insatiable without any humor or entertainment in their lives, I know.
If I can make somebody laugh, I will gladly eat my own shit because I don't think I'm that kind of a funny guy.
You don't think you can make people laugh?
Not really.
Go ahead and make me laugh.
Okay, why did Timmy drop his ice cream cone?
Because Timmy's a fucking cunt.
No, because Timmy got hit by a fucking bus. Why did Susie fall off the swings?
Because she doesn't know how to swing.
No, because she didn't have any arms. Knock,
Oh,
knock.
so you're talking about anti-jokes.
Knock, knock.
I didn't knock on any door. I'm not the one who knocks.
Knock, knock.
I didn't expect
Knock,
any.
knock.
I don't want any visitors
Knock,
at this time.
knock. Motherfucker.
right.
Answer the door.
All right, what do you want?
Who's there?
I opened the door already.
Knock, knock.
Who are you?
Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Not fucking Susie because she don't have any fucking arms.
How is there knocking on my door?
See, that's the thing. Like, I don't know,
There's a
man.
plethora.
My sense of humor, while it's a little bit fucked up,
Who cares?
that's the point I'm trying to get at. Although it's a little fucked up, I still think it kind of falls flat. I think maybe it might just be the sound of my voice. Maybe that's what people are laughing. There I go again, dropping shit.
I don't think it's the
That's a
sound of your
regular.
voice.
That's a regular staple here at the chill room where I go off on a tangent and I end up dropping shit. So we got that out of the way.
Well, at least you're dropping, mouse pads and not, anything else.
I'm definitely not dropping any panties. That's for sure.
The one day that I actually get that to happen, you'll feel it in the air. Just the excitement. The
Like I'll just be
aurora.
sitting here typing away on my computer,
Yeah.
like writing something. I'm just like,
Yeah.
Hayden got laid.
Yes. You're damn right. You're gonna fucking hear that. It's gonna be a spectacle. It's gonna be fireworks. Everyone's invited.
My spidey senses will tingle.
Everyone's incent.
Do I get to watch?
It may be going up on future porn sites.
All right.
Future porn sites you may not have heard of, such as
There's no porn site on the known internet that I have not perused through.
fat people fuck young attractive women.
You're not fat.
ISIS member. Yeah, I'm getting my stomach.
Goat fuckers are us.
Goat fuckers are us. Yeah, and in between the goat fucking, we do sacrifice the goats after they are injected with our seed to sacrifice them to our great Lord and Savior,
Who would that be?
whoever you want it to be. If you do, if you look and if you really take the time to study religions, you can realize that they're all basically the same thing. And, I'm going to get flack for saying that, but all religions really just boil down to.
Really, all religion is just a way to keep people in line.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that and to, for people not to get scared of what happens after death.
Yeah, well, who the fuck knows? You'll cross that bridge when you get there, right?
Yeah.
So,
Even if it's a bridge, a hill, a mountain, even.
to quote one Hayden Quinones from the last couple episodes, who cares? Who cares?
Dude,
Fuck it, who cares?
Yeah. And as soon as you adopt, it's not a smart way to live, but it is certainly more of a fun way to live. You learn a bit more.
Yeah, I'd have to agree.
Yeah. And sparring off from that, if we're talking about great submarine sandwiches, may I direct your attention to personally one of my favorite submarine places to go get sandwiches,
Right,
the
I'm
Jersey
going to
Mike's.
sit back here while you go ahead and give these guys a good name.
Jersey Mike's is great. So is Tubby's, Subway. If it's Subway, I look at Subway now like how I look at Little Caesars. It's still good, but if you have more money to spend,
Spend it.
yeah, go to Jersey Mike's or go to Tubby's or
I haven't been to
Develop-
Tubby's since I was
develop.
a youngin'.
Tubby's is great. They got steak and cheese. Then again, what can never go wrong with steak?
Yeah, no one ever goes wrong with steak,
Yeah.
except if you're one of those kind of people that wants your steak well done. Excuse me.
Yeah, if you want one of those steaks well done, or if the fact of the matter is, I found a pretty interesting post on the internet the other day, and I don't mean to call out who. Sorry for me doing that. I have to get in front of the mic, but it was a post showcasing wolves' fangs.
Excuse me. Sorry.
No, you're fine. It showcased wolves' fangs. I'm talking about a post on the internet I saw.
Okay.
It had a picture of wolves' fangs, and then an omnivore, just, their mouths, their teeth, and then a horse, which kind of has teeth like us, and then the bottom caption was, and tell me how we were made to eat meat. I'm like,
Hold on. Start over, please.
What?
Or actually, I'm gonna go take a leak. Hang on.
Okay. That's fine.
I'm listening.
No, so, on that topic of we weren't technically supposed to be put on this earth to eat meat, it's just outright, false. There's a plethora of important amino acids we get.
Meat is essential to survival.
It is essential to survival. The proteins to build up muscle so we don't look like, North Korean labor camp workers. And it's just so we don't deteriorate under our own body weight.
The fact that anybody says that we were not put on this earth to eat meat is absolutely flabbergasting to me.
But I don't care. If you don't want to eat meat,
That's
ahead.
fine.
Yeah, don't go ahead. Don't eat meat. Just don't force other people to, adopt your indoctrination, to get indoctrinated into your cause. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, that's not the way to go.
Yeah, I don't understand why everyone has to be so public with what they are.
I never understood that either. That's something that's really come about in the last, 10, 20 years? Here's the thing. Okay, if you're... Let me figure out how to word this. If you're the kind of person that is just absolutely 100% public with your opinions and think, oh, well, this needs to be this way because this, or that needs to be that way because of that, you need to be prepared for the fact that there's going to be people out there that don't give a flying fuck either way, okay? We're just trying to live our lives, and you trying to shove this garbage down our throats, it's really unsettling. So please, just do everybody a favor, unless it's with a group of people that are like-minded as you, please do the world a favor and shut your fucking trap. Thank you.
I honestly think that spurs down from politics, and I don't mean to talk about politics. But
Whatever.
Who
cares?
I honestly, because most vegans and people who don't eat meat tend to be, democratic, liberal, want big government.
Yeah.
So taking that mindset of having everyone like on the same page automatically and for big government, like, I don't know how to explain this.
Take your time. We still got time. We got 2 hours left.
Yeah, we got a lot of time.
Got all the time in the world.
It's there you go again with the ums. It's
That's the first of the show. So.
no, there's a few.
Well, I mean, it's not like
There's a few under my
distracting.
breath. But that whole idea of having the government control everything, like for example, universal health care.
Yeah.
They get to set the standard, and then everyone is based off that standard. And that logic and reasoning to get everyone to do the same thing and be under the same policy, under the same rule, essentially, in my opinion, is kind of like how what, the social justice warriors are doing, groups like Antifa, which I don't like.
Everyone wants to get my attention today.
And just other groups of that sort, which they just try to enforce something on you without asking, your opinion or taking your thought process or
You
consideration.
need to think
control.
this way, otherwise you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
You're a bigot, and fucking every other insult that they can throw under the sun.
Yeah, that's-
I hate that fucking
yeah.
shit.
I'm not
I
sure-
really, really hate that shit.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I brought this up last week or the first one, but
Well, if you did and you didn't,
no,
doesn't matter.
not the first one because it wasn't out, but not Rotten Tomatoes, the movie critics site, is trying to get rid of all dissenting opinions
On
about
what?
the Black Panther. And we had a discussion of this in my class too.
Uh-huh.
It's no one could have been allowed to look at that movie critically and call it for what it was because it was an all black cast. So if they had a problem with the movie, it was automatically assumed.
Oh, you're racist.
Yeah,
You're a racist
yeah.
piece of shit. Fuck you.
Yeah, it was automatically assumed by, social justice warriors or people of that nature that you're a racist because you didn't like the movie.
No, I didn't like the movie because I didn't like the movie. I haven't seen the movie.
I
What
haven't
I'm
seen
saying
it
is,
either.
if I went to see the movie and I didn't like the movie, it'd be because I didn't like the fucking movie, not because I want all black people to die.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't
and-
see. That's the thing. I don't understand where these people get it in their heads that just because you don't like something that has a predominantly black, ensemble, that automatically means that you hate black people and all that shit. I don't understand that. Where does that shit come from?
On a side note, I hope you don't mind me hogging this.
No, you're fine.
All right, and where that comes from, it comes from which I think they think that it's because like how slavery keeps on getting brought up now more than ever.
Of course.
It's because they're just trying to reopen closed wounds,
Yeah.
and they're pointing to that as like a systemic racism.
Okay, but here's
When in
the,
all
here's,
actuality,
here's the thing.
okay,
Okay.
no, go ahead.
It's the current year. All right, it's 2018. Slavery's been abolished for what? 200 years?
Something like that, yeah.
200 some years?
Yeah.
Move on. Please,
No,
move on. We understand it was an injustice. It was terrible. It was a terrible thing to do for, not just white people, but for any white people. A lot of people owned slaves, okay? A lot of people were enslaved to different people. Hell, the Irish were slaves for fucking God knows how long.
Yeah, but they weren't called slaves though.
That's
that was the problem.
Indentured servitude.
Yeah, and then if you look at that, they're really technically the same thing because indentured servants couldn't survive in the sun
Yeah.
like African Americans can. So that's why they were all up north doing,
Yeah, but
as dangerous or less
here's the
dangerous
thing.
jobs.
Here's the thing. We were also a lot less civilized back then. We've become a little more civilized. I'm not trying to be, gracious because we're still a pretty uncivilized bunch. But we've grown a little bit as a species since then, and we know that it's common sense that slavery is wrong and should never be a thing.
Yeah,
We've grown past that. We've grown past that. Why can't you? That's okay. And I sound like a terrible person, and I'm sorry. I'm not sorry. Move on, please. We've moved on. Why can't you?
It's and especially how it was 200 years ago, or however long ago. I'm not gonna.
It was a long time ago
It wasn't-
in a galaxy far, far away.
It wasn't that long, in the grand scheme of things,
Right.
but in the scheme of America, it was sort of long ago.
You could say it was a long time ago in
Yeah.
a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah, you could say that. And the fact is, I'm pretty sure.
You know something? People on Tatooine were enslaved. Where's the outrage? Where's their outrage? You know?
Tatooine civil rights. No, but it's fuck. What was I gonna say? I can say with at least certainty that the majority of people today, if you go back long enough, sure they've owned slaves, but you know, you and I don't own slaves, and we should certainly disagree with it, because I'm pretty sure I can speak for you as well in saying that we don't endorse or support anything.
Look at what Zach wrote. Look, none of us were involved.
Yeah,
Get
basically.
over it.
Basically, none of us.
It's
have
not.
a problem
It's
with
not our fault.
that. It's not a problem.
And I never
None
understood.
of us
I
contributed.
never understood white guilt either. Like, oh, I'm sorry for what my ancestors did. Okay, but that shouldn't be your whole basis for perpetuating systematic racism. Okay, none of us were involved.
Yeah.
So
I would say us today are a more open-minded society.
I would like to think.
I would also like to think that through constant exposure to things,
Right.
and a variety of other things that I can't think of at the moment on the spot. But for example, like how not everyone, but a lot of people were against like gay marriage and that whole idea
Yeah.
because of the religious beliefs. And I get that, but after they got married, after they got they were able to get married, how in all these shows now there's always the constant one gay scene or whatever. I don't care, but they're just trying, and that's the problem with Hollywood. They're trying to normalize everything, and a lot of the general public don't know the demographics of America.
I don't think they're ready for that kind of thing.
No, they should be, because they think African
They should be, but they're not.
African Americans or blacks or whatever the correct term is now. They only make up about 6 or 7% of the population,
Right.
and it's massively dominated by white. So if you're sitting there thinking, why don't I, as an African American saying, why don't I see so and so in this show, or like people like me? It's because
Why isn't Captain America black?
Because Stan Lee didn't write it that way.
Yeah.
But with
Now you know how absurd that sounds.
now with a black female Spider-Man, which is I don't really care about.
What?
Yeah, apparently there was a black female Spider-Man.
Okay.
There was that, and they made Thor a female.
Oh yeah, I heard
In
about
like
that.
this, in like spin-off comic series, it's like
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
care.
yeah.
And they tried to make a big deal out of that. It's like I don't care. Go ahead and let girls and women,
Everybody's-
little girls.
Everybody's got an agenda to push.
Yeah.
Everybody does.
Let little girls and let young African Americans have something to aspire to.
Right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, and I totally agree with that. Kind of like how there's not a lot of women in stem cell research, for example, or just the STEM field, which is making a lot of money. And the reason because of that, and I think, and I've thought this for a while, is because we kind of push girls away from math and science,
Yeah.
like whilst going through school, and that whole I don't want to when you're in, I'm just gonna say grade school, so like K through 12.
Yeah.
It's a culture, because you know how every school, they might seem different, but they're all actually just the same thing.
Yeah.
In how you got this group of people, this group of people, this group of people, and this is how they think.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
always you can always see the certain groups forming, and they're all usually the same thing with all the same beliefs and shit, or the same likes and dislikes.
Uh-huh.
And we kind of have to break that and try to get more girls in science and into math, because a lot of them aren't. That's why a lot of them take jobs like psychiatrist or, more art oriented, or like language or
Yeah, things like that.
yeah.
Although I wouldn't think, psychiatry isn't really in the art field, but I understand what you're trying to say.
like anything that isn't math or science.
Right.
I call it art, which is weird, I know, but if you could somehow make a crazy person not crazy anymore, then
That's kind of an art.
yeah, props to you. That is an art.
Yeah. I have to give you that. There goes the furnace. Keeping me nice and toasty.
Yeah. What were we talking about?
This conversation strayed all over the place, like they usually do.
The atrocities of the society against women.
Yeah,
It's
But-
it's a shame.
it
It's
is.
just a damn shame.
It is. But, that's something that's worth fighting for, I guess.
No, it is worth fighting for, but
But at the same time, you don't need to, push an agenda.
yeah, if you're gonna go to college and then force everyone to call you by your third gender, like your pronouns, without even that person per se
Oh,
knowing.
you mean pronouns that don't exist?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, if that's what they want to be called, go ahead and call them that. I don't really care. But don't force me or say it's an act of violence against you,
Yeah,
or it's
or
a personal
a
attack.
microaggression.
Yeah, whatever the fuck those are.
I just
You wanna know
that's
how-
what makes it hard coming up in this kind of world, man. Is that society teaches you that you need to be wary of everyone's feelings, and I don't agree with that. Sometimes feelings just don't matter,
No, yeah. It
especially in an academic setting like that.
Yes, in an academic setting, I do agree with you. Like, in my opinion, we really shouldn't be listening to high school kids about gun reform or gun control laws.
Yeah.
Like the thing you shared on your Facebook page, or the children Facebook page.
Might have been one of the two.
Yeah, like how she says, "We has the
We
knowledge."
has the wisdom.
Yeah, we has the wisdom. She
Yeah,
fucked up by
sure.
saying that, but
Yeah,
just the
sure.
thing is, I would rather have, the two parties going at it and trying to figure out the best plan rather than a bunch of high school kids who think that we should just get rid of guns entirely.
Yeah.
Because that, despite what you might think, that is the ultimate goal, is to just de-arm our society. If you do enough research.
Yeah. It's a little bit scary when you think about it.
Yeah, and it does seem a bit far-fetched, like how they want to take away our guns.
But that's the kind of thinking that would get you labeled as like a conspiracy theorist or like a
Yeah.
tinfoil hat nut.
Or they'll just throw your opinion out of the room, but that is a possibility.
Yeah.
I forget what senator or what person in the legislative. She was trying to get a bill passed to just to ban guns outright, and I think she was down a couple votes. But
Yeah.
if she got those votes, she could have had the power to outlaw all guns.
Yeah. But that's the whole gun control debate that I don't want to get into, and because I get heated every time I talk about it. So I would like to stray as far away from that setting as much as I possibly.
I'm fine with that. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm a firm believer in the Second Amendment. Just the idea behind it.
Yeah.
And for those who don't know, the idea behind it was to protect
Protect yourself and your own
yourself.
interests.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
Self-
from a tyrannical government. Because
From a
you know what?
tyrannical
Hey,
government.
hold on.
Yeah, go
But
ahead.
you know what? Believe it or not, the government can be tyrannical. Okay? So if you need to protect yourself against a tyrannical government, then you should be able to.
No, yeah, and I totally agree with that fact. It's just the thought that our government will never turn on us is outright stupid. Because at any moment, at any particular time, they will sell us out if it benefits them more than us.
Yeah.
Because,
That's the way it works.
and it's
If you can fuck over the people and line your own pockets, then that's exactly what they're going to do.
That's why
that is sad.
I hate career politicians.
Yep.
People who aspire to be politicians, I do not like. Because they're in it for all the background deals, the corruption,
All the personal benefits.
all the personal benefits, the endorsements, the money.
It became all about the money rather than about the good of the people.
Yeah, that's why
And that's why I hate politics.
the greatest leader we've ever had is George Washington.
I don't know, man. John Quincy Adams was a pretty stand-up guy.
What about the XYZ affairs?
No, yeah, no, I know all about that. I'm
Oh,
just
yeah.
trying to be
No,
trying to
no.
add a little bit of comic relief.
No, I know what you mean.
I mean, Thomas Jefferson, you know, I mean, he
Thomas
was.
Jefferson was dope, dude.
Oh my god! Do you know how many people out there that actually think Ben Franklin was a president? A lot more than you might think.
Those are probably the same people who think the Second Amendment was just written for muskets,
Yeah.
which is
Well, guns have evolved since then.
outright wrong. Even back when they wrote that, they had, they were already working on
It's for-
guns to fire more than one bullet per second.
Yeah. Guns evolve.
Yeah, they already had fucking they had the first iteration of the Gatling gun. I
Yeah.
think it was called like a pepper gun or something.
Something like that.
And they also had a bunch of handguns which could load multiple bullets. It's basically, handgun shotguns,
Yeah.
which fired, 18 pellets at once. And there was
To me, there's no difference between an M4 and a musket, except for the time you take to reload.
Yeah.
The intent is still there. It's
no,
all
yeah.
used for the same purpose.
Yeah.
So,
The whole reason we have the Second Amendment is because they left the British Empire, which was the superpower at the time, and we kicked their ass, and then became the superpower, which is great. I love that.
I love how everyone always forgets about the Ninth Amendment. Which one was that? I'm not really well versed in my amendments. So please enlighten me, Zach.
Yeah, that is an amendment that does not come up a lot.
Yeah. Well,
So
he's
everyone's
right.
usually-
Everyone does forget about it. I guess.
Everyone's usually attacking the First or the Second Amendment.
Yeah.
Kind of like how on college campuses right now they're trying to, get rid of your freedom
That
of speech.
that gets to me.
Same.
That people want to take away people's freedom of speech because they said something they didn't like or didn't agree with. Like, how are you about to sit there
That
and
was the
say that
whole-
nobody can say what they want to say without fear of repercussion because they said something you didn't agree with?
I know. I hate that.
Yeah. Like,
I'm sorry.
why would you attack everybody's rights for something that one person said?
I don't understand it. I don't get it. And the fact is, people don't like it, but we are the freest country in the world.
The enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others retained by the people. I think I understand what that means. It's
Oh, he wrote it.
that's it word for word. That's what he wrote.
Word for word, the
Enumeration.
in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage others.
Okay, I think I get it.
No, yeah, I get that.
I think I get it now.
Basically stating that everyone has the rights in the Constitution, even though some people out there will debate and argue, well, not debate, argue and yell at you, saying that, women don't have certain rights, or, African American or minorities don't have certain rights, even though in the Constitution, we all
Clearly
have
states
those,
everybody who's a citizen has rights.
yeah, those are, yeah, and especially citizen.
Yeah.
Because with all the illegal immigration, keyword illegal,
Illegal meaning not legal.
yeah, against
In
the
case
law.
you needed to know, in case you need a refresher course, Professor Nick's here for you. Heidi ho, motherfucker.
But that just doesn't make sense. Everyone's against, not everyone, and that's probably wrong of me saying, but a lot of people are against.
But it's a broad
deporting-
generalization.
Yeah, a broad generalization of their thought process of not deporting illegal immigrants only found out to be illegal from committing crimes. They don't want to deport them.
That is a crime.
Yeah, and it's
And that's what I don't understand is if somebody committed a crime, if someone is here in this country illegally, what saves them from being deported?
Nothing.
If you go back, why don't you just come try to actually go through the process and actually? Okay, maybe it's a little hard, maybe it's a little challenging. I don't know. I've never had to go through it.
It's long and tedious.
Yeah, but I've never had to go through it. But why would you? I understand it's easier to break the law and it's easier to ask for forgiveness than for permission. But for God's sake, if you see, this is the kind of things that get my blood boiling. Because even if you try to argue that, someone else there's gonna fucking say, "Oh, you hate Mexicans, you fucking." Yeah.
Yeah, illegal immigration screws over the people that come over legally.
Yeah.
That go through the 10, 15,
That-
20-year process of
Yeah.
becoming and take their naturalization oath. Then they get all the rights that the Constitution.
I understand. You want to go. You want to get out. Okay, that's fine. But go through the process like everybody else. Don't just fucking hop over the border. And if you do hop over the border, then you fucking best do your damnedest not to get caught. Because if you get caught, that's on you, homeboy.
Yeah. And and this is me generalizing again, but I think that they think against why they're for illegal immigration is because how the media portrays it. Like, for example, with the Syrian refugees, how they're showing just mainly women and children. Like, from civil war stricken places like Syria that we caused.
But, you know, where I stand on that, I can understand why you probably couldn't afford to let some people in. Because Europe did that, and Europe did get screwed over big time.
Yeah, like Germany.
Yeah.
Germany now, they don't get to cause both world wars and then take the moral high ground.
That's the thing, though. You can't trust anybody. All it takes is one bad apple to ruin the whole fucking bunch.
Yes.
And that's exactly why people are saying, you know, we shouldn't let refugees into this country for that exact reason.
Yeah.
And I can understand. I can sympathize it to a certain extent. At the same time, yes, it's shitty. You know, their country is in disarray. Their lives are in disarray. Their families are in disarray. But can we really afford to take that chance? You know, if one of them wants to blow something up over here, because you don't know how these people, you don't know what kind of lives some of these people lead. You don't know how they think or how they feel.
Yeah.
You know, they could be like, oh yeah, I'm just coming here for university. Next thing you know, 2 squares in Brooklyn are up in flames. You know, and sometimes you just can't afford to take that chance.
And yeah, and I really think the media likes to jump on like certain aspects of terrorism if it's not a Muslim committing it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the school shooting in Florida.
Oh, here, before you continue,
Yeah, go
look, this is what Zach wrote, and I agree with this 100%.
What?
We can't even take care of our own people. How can we expect to help anybody else?
No, that's right.
We haven't even learned to take care of ourselves yet. We haven't even learned to care for one another. Except, you know, when shit gets hairy, you know. I remember there used to be a time when it didn't take a national fucking catastrophe to get us to care for one another.
There should have been some unifying points throughout, like, the election cycle. There was a video that was circulating around that went viral of 3 African American teenagers beating on a mentally disabled Trump supporter and yelling, fuck white people, fuck Trump, we're only doing this because you voted for Trump. And then if you go to and then after that, I looked up to what CNN was talking about, which was a mistake because that got me more pissed off. There was a lady on there saying, we can't classify that as a hate crime because they're like, oh, what's the lives like for the people that committed the crime? What was their economic status? How were they brought up? They were probably having a bad day. But beating on a mentally disabled person,
That's inexcusable.
that is inexcusable.
That's
Especially
completely...
for just voicing his opinion and voting for who he thinks would fix the
Like
country
that
more.
after the shooting in Florida when that dad was searching for his daughter. I mentioned a while ago, and everybody fucking openly mocked him because he was wearing a Trump 2016 t-shirt. People were like, you let this happen. Your daughter died because of your political choices. And that's the type of shit that gets me enraged.
No, yeah. It's a lot of the homegrown terrorists, as they like to say. It's like, oh, you know, this is just Billy from the side of the street decided to buy a gun and do this. If you look back to where they've been traveling, a lot of them, I'm not going to say all of them, but a lot of them were going back and forth from here, from example, like places where they harbor and train terrorists.
Yeah.
And people just don't want to look at that because they don't want to make the correlation that... Because terrorism is everywhere.
Yeah.
We're not denying that fact. It's just the fact that the proportion of terrorist acts being performed by a certain group of people is way disproportionate from other certain groups of people. That's a problem. Yeah. And the whole world sees it. Well, not the whole world sees it. Just, you know, some people see it as a problem. Other people are saying that it's, you know, I don't know what they're saying because I just disagree with it entirely. Not every Muslim's a terrorist, but all terrorists just happen to be Muslim.
Okay.
From a disproportionate group committing the majority of terrorist acts.
All right, let's not talk about this anymore, man. I'm getting heated. I am
That's
getting
fine.
heated.
That's fine. I'm running out of things to talk about on that topic anyway.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can only take things only so far in one direction, so.
Yeah, in one direction without, illicit, like you and me yelling at each other. So if
I can't yell, remember?
yeah,
Can't yell.
yeah. So let's just get off that.
So,
Oh, you want to know?
sure.
Let me bring it back up to that topic.
All right.
Not that topic in particular, but Trump recently said he was for taking away guns, like taking that far left stance rather than the moderate or the right or left stance. And that's just wrong. I don't see enough people who support Trump calling that out. Because all the Constitution, all the amendments that were given to us are supposedly, quote, God, end quote,
God-given rights. Yeah.
And him proposing such a thing, people should call him out on way more, but notice how no one's calling him out on that. Because everyone agrees with that. Everyone's like, we don't need our rights anymore.
Fucking rights. Who needs them? Who needs them? Let's just let the tyrannical government take over and let them decide how we need to live our lives. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck it. We don't need freedom.
Yeah, I don't want to think for myself or, start my own business and then get, forced out of business because of high corporate taxes.
Yeah.
Which actually reminds me, I want to get your opinion on that.
Okay.
Do you think that, like how Big Talk is trying to get jobs to come back to America?
Yeah.
How would you, per se, go about doing that?
Oh, dude, I don't even know. I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
I would say
I'm way too frazzled to think about this kind of stuff.
I would say a lot of people would disagree with me on this statement, but it's to lower the corporate tax, to make it cheaper to grow business in order to keep it here.
Okay.
But a lot of people will then turn that into, if you're going to cut corporate taxes, you're just giving them more money. And then, that leads to trickle down. We'll eventually get it. But if you want businesses and jobs to come back and grow here, that is one thing you actually have to do is to lower corporate taxes. Not substantially, just enough so they could actually grow. Like, don't punish people for trying to start their own businesses with new taxes, because they're hidden everywhere. That's why you have accountants. Their whole job is based on to figure out that 7,000 page tax code that's in state right now. They're paid to figure out those loopholes that us as common Americans won't figure out because we just don't have the time or just the aptitude. Because let me tell you, I'm not smart enough to figure that out, and
I'm sure as fuck not smart enough to figure that out.
yeah, I'm not going to speak for everyone, but for me personally, I'm not smart enough to figure all that shit out. That's why you use things like TurboTax or H&R Block. You go get them to do your taxes for you, and you pay them so they figure out how to get you the most benefit to come back. But yeah, sandwiches.
Yeah, sandwiches are cool.
Sandwiches
I
are
like
good.
sandwiches.
Sandwiches. You ever been to the Bread Basket?
I have not.
You should go to the Bread Basket.
Okay.
Bread Basket has probably the biggest.
Do they have bread baskets?
I think so.
All
I've
right.
only been there once.
Sounds like my kind of place.
They have big corned beef sandwiches. It's like in New York. It's like
I'm not really into corned beef, to be honest.
All right, then don't go.
Yeah.
If you're into big corned beef sandwiches, go, check out the Bread Basket.
Yeah, never been a fan of corned beef. But, whatever.
Yeah, who cares?
Yeah, who cares? That should just be the motto of this show from now on. Who cares? Who cares?
No, and if you honestly think like that, and once again, I do apologize for.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I've been hogging it, so you're fine.
No, I'm not giving this around. So what you been up to?
Yeah, exactly, Zach. Who cares? Who cares what I've been up to?
That
Really
was
not
perfectly
not
timed.
much. That was perfectly timed. I couldn't have asked for a better punchline. But yeah, I haven't been up to much. I've just been sitting at home, just kind of do. My buddy Luke's birthday was a couple days ago. He went up to Coyote Joe's, and I didn't go because I can't really show my face around that particular crowd anymore. Because if we can't all exist as friends, then there's absolutely no fucking point whatsoever.
Yeah.
But even then, I hate Coyote Joe's. Never been a fan of it. I don't like country. I don't like country themes. I don't like country music. I don't like country bars. I don't like none of that shit. So I wouldn't have had a good time, even if I went. Even though, somebody who I used to be really close friends with was there, and now we're not close friends anymore, I still wouldn't have had a good time regardless. So I'm kind of glad I didn't go. But yeah, I can't really show my face around them anymore because I'm kind of an outcast now. And that's fine with me, it's whatever. I did some things, I said some fucked up things. I understand that, I own that, it's whatever. It's not a big deal. But, I'm at least willing to own up to the things that I've said and the things that I've done, but for some reason, God knows what reason, the other party just does not seem to want to make amends. And that fucking breaks my heart. It really does. Because, this is a guy I've been to war with, figuratively.
Yeah.
We've been through everything. We've been through good times. We've been through bad times. We've had each other's back through thick and thin, which really makes me sour that he doesn't have my back this time around. It's whatever. That's on him. So it's whatever.
Yeah.
But it still bothers me, though. It bothers me every single day. Like, I can't help but think about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
And, I'm not trying to sound like I'm talking shit, or, you can interpret it as me talking shit. You can interpret it as me, trying to tell the truth. You can, frankly, as far as I'm concerned, you can interpret it any fucking way you want to. I don't care. But he really needs to get his head out of his ass and realize that, regardless of everything that's happened, regardless of all the stuff we've been through, regardless of all the things I said and did, we've always been friends. We've been brothers. I would have taken a bullet for this guy, and I still will, even though he fucking hates my guts. I'd still take a bullet from him. Hell, they still do the show under the same name every now and again, but, I still listen to him. I still support him. I still show him a little bit of love now and again because that's what I've always done. Yeah. And I understand, sometimes I'm not the easiest person in the world to deal with. Sometimes I'm not the easiest person in the world to get along with, but... and that's actually another thing I wanted to bring up that kind of pertains to this a little bit. I was thinking about earlier before you came over, was that at this point in time, I understand that mental health problems don't excuse or justify in any way, acting like a shithead. And yes, I was in a bad place. Yes, I was going through some hard times. Yes, I was in the shit, but... And yes, I did some things. Again, I did some things. I said some things I shouldn't have said. But I understand that that was not right of me to do. That was not, the way to go about things. And, I'm willing to own, and I've always been willing to own up to that and to talk about it and to, try to make things right. Because I don't want... that's the thing. I don't want to lose, because these are some of my closest friends. I don't want to lose Garrison. I don't want to lose Joe. I don't want to lose Justin. These are guys that I've shared this show with, Yeah. These are guys that I've had the best times of my life with. I don't want to lose them, And if I do lose them, then yes, I deserve it. Whatever. But I at the same time, I don't want to lose them, It blows my mind how someone can be so... stubborn about these kinds of things. And I get it. If you want to take a break, if you want to not give me the time of day for a while, that's fine. And yes, I was the one that, severed things because I was upset or I was a little emotionally unattached. But you know what? Even then, that was a stupid thing for me to do because I forgot to realize that, that I genuinely care about these guys. And I genuinely... they're my friends, and I would do anything for them. I'd go to the ends of the earth for them. And I guess we both kind of forgot about that.
Okay.
So you know what? If Joe and Garrison and Justin happen to be listening to this, I've said this a dozen times. I know I've said it to Justin. I'm sorry. There's nothing I can do to, make things right and, put things back on an even keel, but I can at least try.
No, and I see what you mean. Like the whole mental health thing getting in the way of things.
Yeah. And I know it's not an excuse to justify shitty actions. I've learned that.
Yeah.
There's certain other people out there that need to learn that, but I've learned that. I'm willing to grow, because that's all life is you just growing up and realizing your mistakes and trying to correct them. I'm sorry. You know, and just the fact that he won't even, you know, listen to what I have to say or even, you know, give me the time of day is just upsetting to me. And I really didn't mean for this whole thing to take like a really depressing, drastic downturn, but this is just something I was thinking about before you got here, because they did an episode yesterday and I was listening to it, and goddamn, it was fucking hysterical. And it really missed all the times that, you know, we used to just hang out, even when we weren't doing the podcast, just sitting in his chill room in his garage, just the real chill room, not this basement, but, you know, just doing and saying all kinds of stupid shit and just genuinely liking each other and genuinely having a good time.
Yeah.
You know, and I really missed that. So.
No, yeah, it makes sense. And it sucks that, you know, when you're going through stuff like that, like depression, all that jumble,
And they just don't
all
understand.
that shit. Yeah, it's a very fickle topic.
It is.
Yeah.
It's very sensitive.
Yeah, and you know, like, cause I'm the same way.
Well, that was part of the reason why. Sorry,
No, go ahead.
but I just want to make that point, is that was part of the reason why I did what I did and what I said what I did, was because, you know, I just didn't feel like anybody could really understand, you know, what was going on with me. I didn't really feel like that people, you know, understood, let alone cared about what was going on with me. So that's why I kind of became sour.
No, and I get that. I understand that. It's because the other day I was I wasn't feeling good, both physically and mentally.
Yeah.
But you know, and I try my damn near hardest to be the eternal optimist now compared to what I used to be, because I realized how pathetic I sounded, to use a lack of better term.
Same.
But you know, it's just hard to
It
get
is.
yourself to think differently.
It is, especially when you've been stuck in, you know, such a mindset for so long. It's
Yeah.
hard to come back from that.
Yes, and because
It's hard to come back from feeling like, you know, you can't trust anybody, or nobody, you know, understands what, you know, you go on, the personal hell you go through on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah. No, and I didn't understand why I felt so shitty a couple days ago or the other day. And so I did some research, and I figured out that, you know, pain, like physical pain, because
Yeah.
I got this whole stupid shit,
Yeah.
contributes heavily to that.
Yeah.
Just pain in general. Because it makes you think, like how you just said, like no one gets it, no one understands.
And
no
that's
one
where
knows what
the
you're
I'm
going
worthless or
Yeah.
nobody really cares kind of
Yeah.
creeps in, and that takes over you. And Zach just said right here, it's hard to understand if you've never been through it. And that's the truest
Yeah.
thing I've ever heard, because
Yeah.
Garrison has said numerous times, you know, he's never been through it. He doesn't understand it. So, you know, I can understand that. You know, he's never been through it. He doesn't know what it's like, you know, to live in a personal hell on a day-to-day basis, you know, feeling like whether or not you're good enough or whether or not you're worthy enough to be around other people or to have somebody be your friend, or, you know, I still question whether I'm worthy enough to, you know, do this show with you every so often. You know, that's a thing that I have to live with. As odd as that sounds, as odd as that sounds, it's something I still have to live with, you know, and that's something I live with every day. Like, you know, I understand where I go wrong, and now I feel like I'm not even, you know, worth having around. You know, they
Yes.
don't want to be around me.
I understand that completely. I like full-heartedly. I get that, because I, honest to God, think that a lot, because I would attribute that to the pain I feel. Mm-hmm. Just like how I think that nobody really wants to hang out with me or talk to me or do anything with me.
Right.
And it just sucks.
It
You know,
does.
just sitting on the couch and be like, I could be doing something fun.
You know,
with other
I could
people.
be out having the time of my life, but instead I'm sitting here fucking playing Rocket League and, you know, wondering where the fuck I went wrong in life.
Yeah, exactly. Even though you've gone wrong nowhere.
Right. Well, I mean, I know I've gone wrong, you know, and I've done wrong, you know, and that's the thing. That's what weighs on me so heavily, and that's what causes me to spiral out of control, because, you know, I drove everybody out the door, and now I have to live with it,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, and I'm trying, like, I used to blame myself for everything
Yeah.
because of my stupid circumstances. And it's just, in the past couple of days, which probably is the real reason why I was feeling so down, I've been trying to convince myself, or just at least trying to, let myself think that it wasn't my fault. Some of this stuff has happened.
Yeah.
And hopefully within doing that, I, become more of an outgoing person and not just go straight to the negative all the time.
Yeah.
You know how fun the negative can be.
Oh yeah, it's a fucking great time.
Self-deprecation's cool.
Yeah. Self-depreciation's pretty gnarly. Pretty metal.
To a degree. Sometimes if you're just spewing that stuff, though, it should, at least someone should ask a question saying, "Hey, you okay?
Yeah, is everything all right? Everything good in your world?" But, sometimes I would never even get that sometimes, And that's what really made me feel alone most of the time.
Yeah, I force myself.
Because that's the thing. Like, I would be sitting there, we'd be sitting like we are now in Rob's room or the showroom or wherever, just all talking, bullshitting, and having a good time. And I would just sit there thinking, God, I've never felt more alone than I do right now.
No, I do not know that.
Oh, well.
In particular.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Because if I'm with people, I still tend to be the most quiet person there, but I'm enjoying the time I'm having with the people I'm with.
Yeah, maybe that's where I went wrong. Maybe I just wasn't enjoying. And that's the thing. I know. You know what? I shouldn't say that should be the thing. I know. That's the thing. I took my friends for granted for way too long, and now look at them. They're all having a good time without me, and I'm fucking sitting at home doing nothing.
Yeah, I feel the same way because a lot of my friends, a lot of people I grew up with are now off to college. Figured out my friend got a girlfriend, and how great his shit's going.
Yeah.
And how my other friend is talking to another girl, and I'm like, what the fuck have I done with my life?
Yeah.
But hey, it's just a theory.
That's just a theory.
A game theory.
www.youtube.com
Game theory.
Game. Is it game theory or
I
game
don't
theories?
know. I haven't watched Game
Matt
Theory
Pat.
in so fucking long.
That makes sense.
Let's try to lighten the mood a little bit.
Yeah, let's lighten the mood.
Now that all the things that are weighing heavily on my conscience are out in the open for the world to hear.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I mean,
that's good.
That's the thing, though. And I'm going to wrap it up with this. We can't stay apart. He can act like he can avoid me forever. But at some point, we're going to have to sit down and reconcile.
Yeah.
It's only a matter of time.
Yes.
Yes.
Because,
you like I said, you can sit there and you can act like you can avoid me forever, but you can't. I'm always going to be here. I'm always going to be a big part of your life, just as you've always been a big part of my life. No pun intended. So eventually, things are going to have to run their course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah, because everything eventually comes around. Mm-hmm. And to get off the topic of that,
Yes, please.
Howard Jones. Name ring a bell?
Huh?
Howard Jones?
Oh, yeah, from Kill Switch and all his other bands.
Yeah, he new album of his is coming out
Oh, yeah?
March 30th. The 2 singles he released.
What's his new band called? I forget.
It's called Light the Torch.
Okay.
It used to be Devil You Know, but I think some.
Yeah, I remember Devil You Know, but...
Yeah, so it's now under the moniker of Light the Torch. Calm Before the Storm. Highly recommend. It's all metalcore, but it's good.
Back when metalcore was actually good.
Yes, like,
and it wasn't a bunch of
Heartbeat.
fucking skinny ass emo boys synchronizing or jumping in synchronicity to fucking shitty ass breakdowns.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I never have.
Speaking of breakdowns, fucking one of the local bands that played at the Septic Flesh show, I think the band's called Prometheus. Do not look them up and do not listen to them. They do not have a bassist. They have 3 guitarists.
What?
One drummer. Yeah.
You can't form a band without a bassist. What kind
It's
of
the
bullshit is
foundation
that?
of the band. They
Oh
clearly
my
never saw
God.
that Metalocalypse episode.
Oh my Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, and he's charismatic. You can see that, but in all the wrong ways.
Oh yeah?
Like where he's over the top, douchebag,
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
tool. He goes onto the wireless mic, comes down to the crowd, and goes up to 4 people, probably the 4 people he told to go to support him. And it's just, he was just a tool. He said, "Oh, this is one of our fastest songs we have." It was a 15-minute song, and the tempo,
my
and
God.
the tempo was this. That tempo.
Wow,
That's slow.
that's so fast.
That's the
Man, your
fastest
fingers
song.
must be bleeding after that.
This is the fastest song we have. One word in, already broken.
Although-
already has a breakdown.
I won't get, I won't shit on people for like getting their wireless shit and then going down in the crowd because fucking Adam D did that from Killswitch. Fucking went up to the bar. And he's like, he got a shot as he's playing the end of Heartache.
Yeah. But that's cool though.
That's cool, man.
Not walking up to the 4 people you told to come and support
that you demanded
Yeah, basically.
be down here to support
He basically
you.
walked up to him and went, "Hey, thanks for coming out to the show. I really appreciate it." But yeah, quite generic in the sense. And they try. And have you seen Behemoth live?
No.
They tried to have that kind of stage presence,
jeez.
like the lead singer tried to do what Nurgle does a bit.
Yeah.
And you could just see right through it that they don't know exactly what they're doing yet.
Yeah.
And who knows? They might become a great band. Who knows?
knows?
But at this moment in time, Prometheus is just a bunch of tools.
You can't become a band trying to be somebody else.
No.
You have to be yourself. And that's the one thing that I've learned in being in countless bands is that, you have to be yourself. You have to write what makes you feel comfortable. You have to, do what makes you happy instead of trying to be, because that's the thing. When we were in Within Destruction, we were just trying to be Metallica. And that's not the way to go about things.
Well, do you mean just covering Metallica? Or
No,
just
not even just
writing
covering
thrash?
Metallicans, but just writing that kind of music.
Writing-
Or embodying the same stage presence that they have.
Oh, okay.
If you're just doing the same thing that somebody else did, 30 some years ago, yeah, that might be a good novelty for like a couple of years, but eventually you have to grow into your own seed. You have to grow into your own plant and, do you.
Yeah, no,
essentially.
I get what you're saying. Like, originally I thought that you were talking about... Like, I understand when bands write music that they listen to.
Yeah.
That makes sense to me.
Yeah, that makes sense to
But
me too.
just photocopying
Yeah.
a band that you like and then just doing everything that they do
Even dressing up like them sometimes. I've seen that.
is wrong.
Yeah.
Because that's how you just become another, cover band.
Like that one band, Greta Van Fleet, you ever heard of them?
Is that Led Zeppelin sounding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the thing. They could become a great band in, 5 years' time. But the fact of the matter is they sound too much like Led Zeppelin. It's okay to sound a little bit like Led Zeppelin, a little bit like Deep Purple here and there, but when you're basically putting on Robert Plant's pants, and and it's just it doesn't. I don't see the appeal. I don't. And everybody raves about this band. Oh, they're the next Led Zeppelin. Well, why don't they stop trying to be the next Led Zeppelin and be the next Greta Van Fleet? You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying. Yeah.
Oh man, I don't understand sometimes.
Well, that's Greta Van Fleet is probably the best out of all the bands you could probably think of that do that.
Yeah, I mean, hell, even Rush did that. In the early days, they sounded like fucking Led Zeppelin. Even though Geddy's voice, as much as I love Geddy Lee, his voice did sound like a little bit like the hamster in Overdrive. But they grew out of that. They grew into themselves, and they became Rush after that. After a few albums of experimenting and seeing what works and what doesn't, and what what they should do and what they shouldn't do,
Yes.
they finally became themselves.
Yeah.
And that's a great thing to see.
That is a great thing.
Yeah.
Something that really irks me personally, and a lot of people, when people call like death metal and black metal like fucking screamo.
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Or
between,
any, just all metal they put under that umbrella.
Yeah, and screamo is really just just emos screaming into the mics about their problems. When
Bunch of 40-year-olds whining about 16-year-old problems.
Yes. Example: Billy Joel.
I'm not, naming any names. Blink-182. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a lump in my throat.
Did you know that Dave Grohl
Yes.
of the Foo Fighters,
The Foo Fighters.
right?
Foo Fighters.
Whatever.
Food Fighters, Foo Fighters.
Food
whatever.
Fighters.
Doesn't
Foo
matter. They
Fighters.
shouldn't be up on stage, playing music. They should be out fighting foos, to quote the immortal Mr. T.
Yes. No, and did you hear that he actually got his teeth removed so he can suck more corporate cock?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh, please let me get some more of that corn we're talking about.
Hey, this is one of my favorite bands you're talking about here, dude. Come on.
Well, I mean, can you really deny that?
No. No, I can't. I can't refute that 1% I can't. I'm sorry.
cannot-
But they're still one of my favorite bands.
Oh, yeah, no, I get it. They're good. But just the fact of the matter is that how they just schling corporate, how they're just more corporate than music, in my opinion.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Who cares?
Yeah. Maybe I just don't like the Foo Fighters. Maybe
And that's
I'm just,
okay.
Maybe
You
I'm
don't
just
like 'em.
referencing the late and great Dave Brockie.
Yeah, it's okay if you don't like them. You're entitled to that.
Yes.
You're wrong, but you're entitled to that. No, I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not going to be that guy. I used to be that guy, but I'm not going to be that guy.
You're like, now let me tell you where you're wrong.
Now, let me explain to you my 10-second thesis as to why you are wrong.
Hey, man.
I'm sorry, my 10-second master's thesis.
My master's thesis.
Oh, man.
Nah, man, go ahead. I don't care.
I know you don't care, and
I
I don't
have my
care either.
opinions and you have your
Yeah.
opinions.
I'm fine with that. It's not like I'm going to stop being friends with you because you don't like Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters, so.
No, it's just like with something I found personally interesting
Yeah.
was how a lot of popular music artists, quote artists, and rap stars, they show up late to their shows, which just makes
Never
no
understood
sense to
that.
me.
Never understood that.
Imagine if like Metallica did that.
I'd
They
be
lose their
pissed.
fan base.
I'd be pissed.
Yeah.
You kidding me? I fucking dropped $200 to go see Metallica, and they showed up an hour late. I would probably start a riot.
Yeah, but there's people out there that don't mind the fact that the people they paid to
Oh,
see
shut up!
to show up an hour late when they played 20
Shut
minutes.
the fuck up! Jesus fucking Christ!
Yeah, and then like Madonna, she did that at a London show, and she came out and she said, and all those who are bitching and moaning about how I'm late should just stop.
As
paid
Lemmy
money.
once said, when it comes to before the gig and after the gig, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can snort cocaine off of a hooker's ass
Yeah.
while getting plowed by a 300-pound man named Antezilla. Okay? But when it comes to the gig, you cannot fuck that up whatsoever because that is your paycheck.
Yes.
You cannot fuck this up. You cannot show up plastered out of your mind, unable to play, and you definitely sure as fuck can't show up late
Yes.
for people who have paid their hard-earned money to sit there and watch you play your music. And most of the people, like you said, that do this kind of shit, most of them perform to a backing track anyway.
I know.
So, fuck.
Yeah. It's just pathetic.
It is pathetic. It's extremely pathetic.
They
It's
make-
pathetic. Not only is it pathetic, but it is completely unprofessional.
Yeah, they make so much fucking money.
Yeah.
They have the entire world under their fingertips, and they have the audacity, the outright. It's an atrocity.
It is an atrocity. It's an atrocity in its highest form.
You have an obligation
Yes.
as a performer.
A
As
lot
an
of people
entertainer.
don't seem to think so, but
Yeah.
yes, as an entertainer, you do have an obligation to
entertain.
yes, to
And not-
entertain and entertain on time. God damn it.
Yeah, and not to push your political views on the people who pay you
That
to make
too.
music.
Yeah.
And that's where and I'm not sure where you stand on that. Do you think people in like Hollywood and the entertainment business,
If it really
should-
matters,
yes.
If it really matters and it's the right time and the right environment, then yes. But at an average show that you're doing on your tour for your new album, maybe that's not the best place and time.
No, that's why shows like the Grammys and like the Oscars used to have such high viewing ratings, had high ratings.
Mm-hmm.
Now they're at an all-time low.
And that's for that exact reason.
Yeah, because they go on there and then they just spew their political views.
All their fucking nonsense.
Yeah, and
Stuff that most people, I guarantee you, the average fucking, I don't know who did that.
the average fucking American,
Who did that at the Grammys this year? I know somebody did.
all of them.
Well,
I didn't
whoever.
watch it. I wasn't
whoever.
bothered.
Well, whatever example I was gonna name, but whoever. We'll call him fucking
The guy who directed Stranger
We'll
Things.
call him MacGyver, okay?
Jimmy Kimmel.
People did not tune into the Oscars to watch MacGyver talk about how, there's a fucking...
How Hitler is basically in the White House, right?
Yeah, nobody, first of all, nobody paid to show up to hear that, and nobody tuned in, on their couch, on their television, to hear that garbage. They came to watch people win awards and play music. That's all.
Yeah. But no, let's just make it, a 2-hour spectacle of a substand of me talking about how bad our president is, and then continuing to further the divide in between the American
like Don Henley, for example, from the Eagles. Drummer for the Eagles, one of the lead singers, great musician, great guy. He started a project, or it's not like a fundraiser, but it's like one of those like projects, to like save something. He started that in the early 80s called the Walden Woods Project, which was a project to save land from being developed that he was very fond of.
Yeah.
And he kept that separate from the Eagles. He kept it separate from his music career. He kept all of that separate and did all that stuff for the Walden Woods Project on his own time. And that's what you should do. Do that on your own time. Don't do it on the record company's time. Don't do it on your fans' time. Do that on your own time.
Yeah. And I don't think artists and, directors, producers understand that. Because they always come out and say, oh, if so-and-so in the middle of nowhere can have an opinion about politics, why can't I?
Right.
And the fact of the matter is, it's just the conversation won't be the same conversation. Like how you and I are talking right now is probably how two people on the job would be like, oh, what do you think of John Gorsuch, the new, back when he was the new Supreme Court candidate for Trump? Yeah, and then you would I would just ask you, how do you think he's going to do?
And then I would say politely and firmly, what in the fuck are you talking about? Who the fuck is that?
Yeah, see? That's how that conversation would go down.
Exactly. And then you would educate me.
I wouldn't say educate. I would just say
bring me up to speed.
Yeah, probably just tell you who he is. But in this grand stance of Hollywood and the Grammys and the Oscars,
I'm listening. I'm gonna go take a leak again.
Yeah, that's fine.
Too much coffee. Sorry.
No, that's good. It's in the grand scheme of all that, is gonna end up turning into like a political leader, a la fucking North Korea. Kim Jong Un.
Total authoritarian.
Yeah, the total authoritarian talk. Just him, whoever's up there telling you what they think, is them talking to you as in you should think that, you shouldn't think for yourself. And that's what I honestly hate, is just how they're trying to trying to force their thought process on people. That's what I don't like. Just forcing people to enjoy, to get indoctrinated into the grand scheme and just become a cog in the wheel.
Oh man, it feels nice to get up and move around after you've been sitting talking for so long. Woo-wee! I gotta stop drinking so much goddamn coffee in the morning though. That's for damn sure. It's great, but damn,
I'm
I have to
surprised
shit
it's
and
giving
piss
you
like a motherfucker.
Yeah, it gives you the
shits.
Yeah, the shits.
Which I already took care of the shits this morning before the show went on air, so we're good on that. I'm not gonna go, over there and shit, but
good, because I'll just have to walk out.
See you later. Yeah. I'll probably not see you next week, you fucking degenerate.
Oh man,
but we've been going for almost 2 hours now. I don't feel like stopping.
All right, I'm fine with that.
I mean, yeah, we can probably round out these last few minutes with just a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah,
probably.
Yeah, you know what I don't like about today's Facebook and Twitter.
What don't you like about today's Facebook and Twitter? Please enlighten me.
The fact that you can't provide a dissenting opinion on a certain topic, one that people
at least not without the lynch mob coming.
Yeah, without the lynch mob. Because, a lot of people in industries of certain importance with a lot of fans and people behind them, they can't come out and say what they actually believe because they're afraid of the lynch mob.
Yeah.
Because 1 minute you're on the pedestal, everyone's praising you, saying, "Oh my God, he's basically God."
Oh my God.
Yeah, from that all the way to, "I can't believe what he said."
What a piece of shit. Fuck him.
Yeah.
Well, that's the type of shit that makes you lose friends over. But the way I see it is, If they want to walk out the door because, you know, you think this way and they think that way, well, then good riddance. Don't let the door hit you in the ass on the way out. Have a nice time. I send my regards.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
You know,
Bon Jovi.
I'm gonna, yeah. Sorry to
Modern Bon Jovi.
Modern Bon Jovi.
That's just me.
The most heaviest album
Stop.
I've ever listened
Stop
to.
it. Stop it.
By the heaviest
Stop it.
album
Stop it.
is Slippery When Wet.
Hey.
Bon Jovi.
Hey. That is a fucking immortal album, okay? Fuck you.
It's the heaviest album
Oh, shut up.
in the entirety of the entire world.
What? Okay. What is the heaviest album you've ever heard? Real talk.
Oh God. It's fuck. Do you have one while I think of one?
I don't. I don't really. I'm not really into heavy music anymore. Not as much as I used to be.
I would say anything out of the Behemoth catalog is pretty good. Like Evangelicon
Okay.
or The Satanist, which is a fucking great album.
I really do have to think about this.
Those are pretty heavy. Other stuff, like I'm not for like straight heaviness for a lot of bands, but like Behemoth,
You know,
is the
not
exception.
like the competition. Who can be heavier than the last?
No,
band.
that's like for example, Skeleton Witch.
That's where all that fucking porno grind bullshit comes into play. Raped by elephants.
Yeah, I don't.
Fuck that shit.
I don't dig the porno.
Fuck
grind.
that shit.
I don't dig grindcore.
I don't dig grindcore either.
Yeah.
I can't. I
Early
tried.
Carcass
I've
stuff,
tried, but I can't.
The early Carcass stuff though is pretty good.
Yeah, I've heard Carcass. I have to agree with you on that, but like all that other stuff, that's where I gotta turn around and walk right out the door because I've tried. God knows I've tried. I like to have an open mind when it comes to music, especially metal, because there's a huge lack of that. You know,
Yeah.
especially these days, now more so than ever.
Yeah.
So, I try to give everything a chance at least once, but if I don't like it, I don't like it. And
Yeah.
such is the case with grindcore.
Like Napalm Death, I couldn't get behind.
They have a 1-second song. That's the only reason I care about Napalm Death, is that song is only 1 second long. It's like one note, and just like basically, the lyrics are, you suffer, but why? But it doesn't come out that way. It just comes out as like, ugh! Even though that's definitely not, that doesn't do it justice any sort of way whatsoever, but
Yeah, like,
still, like, how many bands can say they have a 1 second song?
yeah, like the only reason I got into Carcass was not because of their earlier stuff. From Heartwork on, as soon as Michael Lamont, the guitarist of Arch Enemy, joined in, basically one of the fucking creators of melodic death metal, joined in, and their sound shifted to more of a sophisticated, not
Sophisticated.
yeah, like twirl the mustache, tip the monocle.
Oh yes, the bougiest of beat 'em up albums.
Yeah. Tip your waitress. Album. No, but that one is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
I don't get the acclaim of Slaughter of the Soul by At the Gates. How that is such a revered album. It's good, but I don't understand why the fact that it's so oh my god, it's like the quintessential album.
Oh my god, it's like the apex of their career.
They didn't really have a career, to be honest with you.
Some bands do, some bands don't.
No, they're coming back though, At the Gates, because at Slaughter of the Soul, I'm pretty sure was one of the first of the melodic death metal genre implications. So Earache Records, which I'm pretty sure they were on when they first started, they toured them relentlessly to the point where they just got sick of it.
Yeah.
And now they're just coming back.
Well, so moving on in a bit of a lighter direction, are you into Pink Fluid? Pink Fluid? Are you into Pink Floyd at all?
I'm not really, no.
Okay, well, I was going to say...
Because as a kid, I saw the
Wall.
The Wall. Yeah, that kind of freaked me out. So.
Well, interestingly
grinding kids
enough...
into meat? Nah.
Well, I mean, the Pink Floyd's a really, really heavily favorite band of mine, and Dark Side of the Moon turns 45. That is a quintessential album.
Is that the one with the Prism
Yep,
on the
that one.
album?
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yep, turns 45, and man, I've had many many, 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 many a nights where I just sit there, may or may not be stoned, and just listening to that album and just being like,
That's the best part about listening
Wow.
to music. Yeah.
you know. I've still to this day I've never heard an album that comes even close to Dark Side of the Moon. Even though that's like the one album that everybody goes nuts over, you know, all the Pink Floyd shirts, everybody's got a Dark Side of the Moon shirt. Hell, I have a Dark Side of the Moon shirt. I don't know where the fuck it is, but I know I have one. But you know, I think that praise is deservedly so, because that was an album. That's an album to have in your collection. I don't care who you are, what you're into, you should have Dark Side of the Moon in your collection.
My favorite teacher at the high school I went to, Mr. Robert Allaire, he was essentially, you know, a classic rock, you know, punk rock fan.
Kind of like me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great just being in his class. Just on the off fact that me and him, like, he could be teaching and then all of a sudden bring up a reference to a band that he knows and then I might have got. So he's like, hey, you can kind of like, you know, insert band name here, doing this. I'm like, oh yeah. Yeah, he also had this giant book of quotes from, like, rock stars.
Yeah.
And a funny one from, because he pointed this one out to me specifically because he knew I liked heavier stuff than he did. So he's like, oh, dude, you should check out this Megadeth quote from Dave Mustaine. It's like, dude, our band is like the greatest. It's like Megadeth. And I'm so glad I have this fucking teacher.
Yeah.
Because now I have a reason to get out of bed and go to school. Just so I can shoot the shit with a guy who likes the music I like.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's always the best part. Just having that one teacher that you can relate to on a personal level.
Yeah, to some degree.
Yeah.
Because you know, they're there to do a job, and I'm there to supposedly learn, as they say.
As they ever so sagaciously say.
Yeah, but, you know, having a teacher that's into, you know, like Black Sabbath, for example, it's just great to have.
Yeah.
So you're just like, all right, so this guy's kind of like me in a certain way, so I probably should, you know, heed what he has to say. And also my English teacher, she didn't like heavy stuff. She was more into like commercial rock and stuff like that. But I'm like, that's still cool too. And she had tattoos of Lord of the Rings. Ooh. And I'm like, nice. It's a damn shame she was pregnant the entire time. And then like the last 2 months we didn't have her, but
oh well.
I had some stupid guest teacher who stopped us from leaving because I had the class last. And it was right above a door to run out to go to my car and leave before all the traffic starts.
Yeah.
But she's like, nope, the bell dismisses you, not...
The Glock dismisses you, not the clock.
Yeah, basically that statement. I see you have something pulled up on the
I
phone.
do. Let's round out this last little bit of time that we have here.
Yeah, sure.
And we'll play a regular staple of here at the Chill Room called Would You Rather? Yay! Yeah, I can see the despair in your eyes.
Insert clap track here.
All right, so would you rather a cloudy, rainy, and calm day, or a sunny and very hectic day?
Calm.
Yes,
Calm day.
Calm day. Those are the best. You know,
I prefer rain.
when it's nice and gray and it's raining and it's that light little bit of drizzle.
You can just go outside and just kind of like sit there.
Oh yeah, you can sit there on the porch. I take a nap on those kind of days because those are the best times to nap. But yeah, I'd rather that.
Yeah, I like to look out the window and just, you know, theorize and
Yeah.
become a philosopher.
Talk about why are we here?
No,
What is
literally,
our
that's
purpose?
like literally what I do.
No, I get it. I do that too. I'm not like trying to make light of that. I do that too.
Yeah, but I'm not like in the whole grand schemes, like just the whole philosophy of me being on Earth.
Yeah.
Like I'm here to do something. I just need to figure out what that is.
Yeah, and I get that. And we're in the majority. 65 flat say cold and calm. 35 say sunny and hectic. Whoop-de-doo.
Yeah.
All right. Would you rather fight a shark only with your arms or fight a bear only with your hands? What's the difference?
I think you have to fight the shark.
Oh yeah,
without
like
your hands.
you got your
like
fucking
elbowing.
elbow. I'd like to elbow a shark, knock a couple teeth out.
But you'll still die.
Oh yeah, I mean either way you're gonna get fucked.
Yeah,
'Cause,
yeah.
I mean, did you ever see The Revenant with Leonardo DiCaprio?
No.
How he gets fucked up by the bear?
No, but it says your hands though. does that account to what can be in your hands to fight off the bear?
I don't think it does. I think they mean your bare hands.
I'd still take my chances with the bear.
Bare hands.
Yeah, I would take my chances with the bear because the only way to really fight off a shark is to claw its eyes.
Yeah.
To blind it so it goes into a blind rage.
And 63% say they would rather fight a bear with just their hands.
Good.
All right.
That's smart.
All right, you win. You know, we should start keeping tally. Okay. Would you lose the ability to consummate a sexual relationship, or
I have that already. So.
unable to speak much to the person you love? Well, I already don't have a sexual relationship as it is, so I would say lose the ability to consummate a sexual relationship.
Yeah, because I already can't do that.
Yeah, so what the fuck does it matter at that point,
You
right?
know, and taking away the ability to talk to someone that I have feelings for sucks.
Yeah.
'Cause
31% say otherwise, so they would just rather not talk to their significant other. What the fuck is wrong with you people? Would you rather have the ability of a Spider-Man or have the ability of a Superman? That's actually a tough one for me.
Superman.
Yeah, but Superman's OP.
I know, that's the point.
Okay. Yeah, I guess if given the choice, I'd probably rather be Superman rather than Spider-Man.
I'd rather
But, I would rather swing around on webs, because that just looks like a whole lot of fucking
Yeah,
fun.
I'd rather just be Man Spider.
Man,
I wasn't Spider-Man, I was Man
have
Spider.
it, instead of red and blue, it's blue and red.
No, it's black and red.
Black and red.
Just like, no, I'm just a man in a spider costume.
You know, I'd just rather walk around with, just like a regular spider costume with multiple legs, and just swing from building to building.
I wouldn't even want that power. I just want to walk around in a Spider-Man, in a man spider suit.
Yeah, 72% say they'd rather be Superman.
Because he's OP.
He's OP as fuck!
They had to make a stupid rock.
Just be the only thing that could break him.
Yeah.
Okay.
The eternal Boy Scout.
Would you rather have the voice of the opposite sex or have the body of the opposite sex?
Body of the opposite
Body.
sex.
I want to fucking play with my boobs till the cow comes home. Really. If I had a pair of tits, you best believe I wouldn't let those go.
Every man, if they were turned into a woman for a day, or at least had the body of a female for a day, would play with their tits.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And same would go if we were both women talking about becoming men.
Yeah.
We'd play with our dicks all day.
I guarantee you there's some women out there who have wondered, I wonder what it'd be like to jerk off a dick, being my own dick.
No, yeah, a lot of people have probably thought that.
Yeah. 52% say they would rather have a voice of the opposite sex.
Well, they probably don't sound as good as you or me.
Well, some of them probably already do.
It's funny when you're only 13 years old and you have a deeper voice than your chemistry teacher.
Or if you have a full fucking beard like some people I knew.
Yeah.
God. All right.
That was funny, too. You grew more facial hair, had a deeper voice than the guy teaching you who was in his 40s.
All right. Would you rather use Windows 2000 for the rest of your life or use an 8-inch TV for the rest of your life?
Oh,
I'd go with 8-inch TV.
Fuck. Yeah, 8-inch TV.
Because I would rather have most up-to-date internet as opposed to, a giant TV.
Yeah, because when I'm loading up porn, I don't need the dial-up tone. Porn launcher.
And then, goddamn, what do you do? Fucking, when somebody tries to use the phone and you're just watching porn, what do you do?
They hear, don't they? Because I didn't grow up with that stuff.
I think you just can't use the phone. As far as I remember, I think you just can't use the phone. I don't think you hear it. If you picked up the line while there was no phone call, you could, pick up the phone and say you're in the top floor of the house, you can, talk to somebody on the bottom floor of the house. I remember because when I used to play superhero when I was a kid, and I'd be like, Chief, the fucking villain is robbing the National Bank of. Oh, hi, Mom. Yeah. You can use the phone.
Yeah.
Go ahead. And that one is split right down the middle, 50-50.
That makes sense.
All right. Would you rather have a crocodile as a pet or have a dove as a pet?
Dove.
Crocodiles are fucking metal, dude.
I know.
Like, you just fucking feed him like a giant fat rat and just watch him go to town on the rat. It'd be pretty fucking awesome.
Do they say crocodile or alligator?
Crocodile.
I'd rather have an alligator.
Yeah.
Just so I can name him Alligator.
Alligator. Alligator.
Yeah, alligator. Alligator.
52% say crocodile.
Good.
All right.
As long as I can name him Alligator. I take that from Stone Cold. Because he does a podcast. You know that?
I know he does.
Yeah.
I'm
he
an avid listener.
Yeah, he referenced alligator.
What do you think one of the fucking inspirations for this show was?
Fucking love alligator.
Alligator.
Here he is.
Alligator. Would you rather a vampire suck your blood or a zombie eat your brains?
Is it a male or female vampire?
I don't think that makes a difference.
If it's a female vampire, I'd want her sucking my blood.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I'd have to agree with that. Because, I don't want anybody touching this.
No.
This is the only thing I have to my name, okay? And 87% say vampire, so good on you.
No, yeah, it's because they'll bite you on the neck or something, and you just become a vampire.
Yeah.
And if it's a female vampire,
And you get to fucking live forever. That's fucking badass.
I wouldn't want to live forever, actually.
Maybe it'd be cool for the first couple hundred years, but then after a while, you'd just be like,
Yeah, basically. Like that guy I think he was in the Philippines or some Asian country, lived to 150.
Zach,
Or
wrote,
like 100.
Zach writes, the majority of the hands you've ever been in contact with has had a dick in it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's stuff I think about every now
Yes,
and
that
again.
is true.
Yeah.
Unless if it's a small girl.
Right. And I would hope not.
Yes, I would also hope not.
Would you rather an analog clock or a digital watch?
Speaking of having dicks in your hands, I had to teach because, I was a bit of an exploratory child. I had to tell my friend how to masturbate.
You had to teach him how to masturbate.
Yeah, I had to teach him how to play with himself.
Oh, I bet he thanks you for that.
I honestly think I tainted him. No, I'm being serious. Cause,
No, I believe it. I believe it.
And,
I've tainted a few friends.
I wouldn't say tainted in the degree that I made him do a lot of stuff. Just opening his mind to, possibilities. Because I honestly never thought that my friend would be, texting me drunk at midnight. But I love it. Just the fact that he's like me. If I was drunk at midnight, I probably would be texting him too.
All right, let's see if I can find a question here.
Oh yeah, what was that question? Faucets?
It was analog clock or digital watch.
Analog clock.
Yeah. But fuck that question. Then there were a couple more that we've already answered.
Dude,
so.
some fucking jabronis do not know how to read an analog clock.
I know, and that's what makes me sad. That's
That
what
is
makes
sad.
me weep for humanity. The fact that
is
they don't know
sad.
how to read a fucking analog clock.
And it's so hard to, if someone asks for your help and they go, man, how do you know all this stuff? It's
I'm not stupid, that's why.
That was my first intention. But it's so hard not to say that.
Yeah,
You have
you
to come
can't,
up
you
with
can't
reasons.
say that.
Yeah. It's like you just have to apply yourself more and then you'll
You'll get it.
yeah, you'll get it. But you can't say that. So
Right.
You say things like, oh, I practice.
Would you rather walk on all four legs or always make animal noise? I think we answered
Yeah, we
this
already
one.
did that one.
Yeah. I can't tell anymore sometimes. Okay, whiskey or vodka?
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can't stand vodka.
Yeah, no, vodka is fucking bitch juice.
I wouldn't even say that. It's just,
Well, the taste of it to me
Don't
is
like
just, ugh. I can at least down whiskey better than I can fucking vodka. But at the same time, the last time I drank whiskey, I nearly, like I referenced earlier, nearly fucking threw up my insides and stained my shoes forever.
yeah, the last time I drank vodka was, I was at a party. And, and this is probably the biggest mistake I ever made. There was the girls already drinking, and they were pretty much already, like, tipsy, going on drunk.
Yeah.
And they're like, hey, come do shots with us. And my dumbass was like, all right, let me catch up to girls.
Drunkenness.
Yeah, let me catch up, and let me just do, tons of vodka shots. And then eventually going, yeah, it's like, here, give me the whiskey.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck, you like whiskey? I'm like, yeah, like, motherfucker, I like whiskey.
I'm a fucking man. Of course I like whiskey. What the fuck you talking about, man?
I like my things dark and bitter,
Yes.
like how I like my coffee.
Yes.
And that's why I honestly think where I have an affinity for darker, like, beers and,
Yeah.
darker liquors, because it's just bitter, and, like, I like bitter coffee.
Yeah.
It's just great.
Plus light beers for fucking pussies.
All right. Would you rather be drunk at the graduation party of your daughter or be drugged at the wedding of your son?
Well, drugged?
Yeah.
So does that
What the fuck kind of question is this?
does that mean that someone drugged me, or I went to
That
it
you have
on
been drugged,
drugs?
yes, by somebody else.
Oh, or get drunk at? Am I technically at the party, or am I
Yes,
just in the house?
you're
while
at
it's
the
happening?
party.
Oh fuck. I'd rather.
I'd rather be drunk at the party.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's easier to explain to my daughter if she figured out.
Yeah.
And at that point, she probably would have known.
Okay.
Instead of, oh my god, my dad's here and he's high on THC.
He's high on PCP. He fucking jumped through the wedding cake, tore down all the fucking decorations. What the fuck?
He said he was chasing some dragon or something. Come on, kiss me.
Hey, Dad, have you seen the envelopes full of money? Fuck the envelopes full of money. Have you seen the fucking dragon in the reception room?
Just like the fucking. Do you know the meme with the dad in the chair that kind of like spins around?
Yeah.
Looks at his son who just walks in.
Yeah.
It's funny. He's like, Dad, did you see where my LSD went? Doesn't matter about your LSD.
Have you seen the fucking dragons in the kitchen?
Yes. Yes.
All right. Would you rather live without listening to music anymore or lose a finger?
Lose a finger.
Lose a finger.
I have a couple fingers that would
But
not be my.
question is, if I can substitute my finger for a toe, because I play guitar, then I'd be fine with that.
I'd be perfectly fine with losing my left hand pointer finger
Okay.
or my thumb.
And 68% sway our way.
Good. Because, those two fucking appendages on my hand are basically useless at this point.
Would you rather be the most famous football player in the world or be the most famous boxer in the world? Boxer.
This is more badass.
I like fighting.
Yeah.
I like to fight.
Yeah.
I like to cause fights. I like to finish fights. So
I don't like football.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll eventually.
the thing
like
is,
it one
when
day.
it comes to football, you have to work as a team. And sometimes I'm not a team player. You know what I mean? Plus, like you said, being a boxer is way more badass.
Yeah, it's more fun.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I already answered that one. That one's stupid. And now we have an ad. Wonderful.
What's the ad for?
I don't fucking care.
Damn.
Have a normal life to do whatever you want, or live eternity without being able to do whatever you want.
Normal life.
Normal life.
That even just spurs back to the vampire question. I would not want to live forever. Just to see everyone I know and love and care about die before me. It's just not. It just doesn't seem fun.
Yeah.
And that might not make sense to people who, have lost, people that were significant to them. It's like, oh yeah, I want to live forever. I don't want to die. But, you see everyone
Die.
and come to love and maybe even, to die. And then you just got to go through that. And maybe you'll just become used to it, or as they say, what's the word for it?
I don't know. Welcome to the chill room where we make you cry so that you don't have to.
We're all crying on the inside. Let's be
Oh,
real.
yeah. Would you rather, last question, would you rather have unlimited love or have unlimited money?
Love.
Love.
Love is the law of the land.
Money
it really
don't,
should be the law.
money don't buy me love.
No.
So, whatever. And 62% say money.
Well, yeah, that's because they're thinking about themselves.
Oh, yeah, of course. That's what everybody fucking
And they don't
does.
want to fucking work a day in their lives. Either.
Of course. And that's the thing. And I'm gonna wrap this show up with this. For a little bit of helpful advice from Nicky Boy. If you win the lottery, okay, say you score the Powerball and you win millions of dollars. Don't, for the love of God, whatever you do, don't quit your day job.
No.
Keep your purpose in life. Keep your reason for getting up and going every day. Because as soon as you reach that, first of all, as soon as you reach that pinnacle, you're not going to know what to do with yourself. You're not going to have a purpose. You're going to become a greedy, selfish son of a bitch.
And that's why the poor stays poor.
And along with that, the people around you are going to change. They're going to want more from you. They're going to, try to see what they can get out of you. They're going to try to exploit you in any possible way that they can.
Yeah.
So hide your cash and keep your purpose in life. Invest it wisely. Don't fucking blow it on a new Lamborghini unless you want to. At least that's what I would do. I'd at least blow $1 million on a Lamborghini.
Yeah, I'd buy a new car.
But just for the sake of having a Lamborghini. But other than that, I would use that for more constructive purposes.
Yeah. No, and I agree.
Yeah.
You just try to live your life And no, and I'm not telling you how to live. I'm telling you how I live. I guess I try my best not to screw people over for money, treat people to the best of my ability,
Yeah.
like as best as I can.
Which is a good way to go about things.
Yeah, and
I think.
you know, and if that's not what any religion says, then I don't want to be a part of any religion.
Yep.
I just want to live the best the way I can and not screw people over.
Yep. And that pretty much wraps up our show here.
Spade and neuter your pets.
Yep. Thank you, Bob. So, yes, remember to like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, because we got to make that money.
You gotta make that money that doesn't exist. At least not yet, man.
Not yet. No.
Eventually.
Right now,
we'll
this
get
is
there.
free.
We'll eventually get there,
It's
but
just free entertainment.
fucking, I managed to convince Justin for a minute that I actually trademarked the name when I found out that they were still doing the show under this name.
Oh,
I
so
managed to
that's
fuck
all
with him for like a minute and be like, "Yeah, I hired a lawyer. I trademarked the name," and he got fucking pissed. He was pissed. But then I was like, "Dude, relax. I'm fucking with you. Do I really look like the kind of guy who can hire a fucking lawyer to trademark a name
Do I look
on
like
a
that?
non-profit business?
Do I look-
Come on."
Do I look like I have the money to hire a lawyer?
I don't even have the money for a McChicken, and I have the money to hire a fucking lawyer.
Yeah. Got him.
But yes, yes, that concludes our broadcast for today. Remember to follow us on Facebook. I will pull up. Well, I mean, I'm going to put the links in the description anyway. But in case you
does
need
not
a reference, in
yeah.
case you're too lazy to look,
It does not hurt to say what we're located at every time.
I'm located at the corner of Get a Map and Fuck Off. I'm a doctor, not a tour guide.
www.facebook.com/the children.
www.gofuckyourself.com.
www.twitter.com/what is it?
Well, that's why I'm looking them up right now. But my Google Chrome does not seem to want to cooperate with me, and it is making me very upset. And I'm probably about to flip this table over in a minute. This makeshift table made out of a and there goes fucking Google Chrome again. All right, whatever. The links will be in the description. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Instagram. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us on Tumblr. Follow us, when I go to take a shower in the morning. I won't be mad. I'll be glad that someone's there to keep me company. So anyways, from all of us here at the Chill Room, and by all of us, I mean myself and my partner in crime, Hayden, here. There's nobody else here. It's just the two of us. We hope you have a nice day. We hope you stay productive. We hope that you fix the fucking holes in the road, because I'm tired of driving on the surface of the goddamn moon. State of Michigan, I'm looking at you. And, yeah, I'm Nicholas.
Make sure you stop saying marijuana. That's racist. Make sure you put the little Mexican spice into it. Marijuana. This has been your lawful and ever so humble cohort into the delving of a mind. This has been Hayden Kionis.
Wow,
Fox
I've been
Tunes.
saying your last name wrong all this time.
Why? How do you say it?
Quinones.
It's however you want to say it. It's a hard name.
It's whatever you want it to
It's a hard name. That's why I only go by first.
Quinones, Quinones,
Mr.
Quiznos.
Kionis was my father.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. But
But you
anyways,
could just call me Hayden.
all right, that's fine. Hayden,
Hayden.
been a pleasure working with you.
Yeah, this is the last show. I'm not coming back. It's been a pleasure.
Oh,
guys.
okay. Well, thank you for letting me know that at the end of the episode. Thanks a
you're
lot, you
no,
fucking scumbag.
You're making it sound like this. Is
No, I know.
But yeah, it's been great.
I'm trying to come up with creative ways to end the show. Leave me alone.
You want to wait to end the show?
Okay.
You want to wait to end the show?
Okay.
I haven't really thought about ways to end it, but I've thought about ways to start it. But a way to end it maybe would be to, as you say, plug all of the Facebook, Twitter,
Which I did.
YouTube, Tumblr, MySpace, Tinder,
Xvideos.com.
xvideos.com, Pornhub, RedTube. What other?
You fucked.
efucked, xnxx.com, which is
X
just
hamsters.
yeah, which is just an extension of X videos.
Yeah.
No, but I don't know. I'll think of a better way to end it, and I'll tell you.
Well, I have a pretty good way to end this. I'm
by,
Nick.
Just by hitting the start.
He's Hayden. And remember, nothing as good as a pepperoni dog fart.
No, that's good.